Welcome everyone to the watch along. Now, not often do we get a guest on the watch alongs, namely because I just think I annoy everyone when I do a watch along. But I've brought a special guest with me, the expert empress of all kangaroo knowledge. I've got the lovely Marns from Kanga TV. Marns, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Pom. It's an honor. It's a true honor. When you called me the other week, and the way our friendship works is you and I will talk for like 45 minutes on the phone, and then if either of us rang for a specific reason only, then do we get to it. And that was the case. That was the case the other day. And I said when I started Kanga TV, I would never do a watch along. Like I was like, I don't want people watching me watch footy. I don't think I could do it. And then you rang and you gave me the call up. So here I am.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. Well, I mean, hey, that is true. I rang Marnie literally just to ask her if she'd do this. And like, I ended up wasting 47 minutes and then just saying, do you want to do a watch along?
Wow. I'm so glad to know that our deep and meaningful chats are a waste of time. I guess I got the message now.
No, what I mean is I just wasted your time. I could have just said, hi, Mans, do you want to do the watch along? But instead I've led you down the garden path for 45 minutes.
No, we had a good chat. We haven't spoken for about 2 weeks, like properly. I feel like if you and I go like more than 2 weeks without speaking on the phone, that's what happens.
To be fair, of all the females in the world, I speak to you only second to my wife, so I do speak to you quite a lot, man. So,
we do. We have a good yarn every now and then.
We do. We put them on twice. Well, I mean, obviously, West Coast, North Melbourne, right? It's a practice game. Everyone, we need to specify that before anyone like cries in the chat about what happened. What are you looking for, though, Mans? Like, what are you looking for with the Kangas?
I think a few things. I think definitely no injuries. We were just chatting up there before. I've just come from the Saints Port game. I was down there this afternoon, and Mitch Owens, another injury. And Aaliyah also got knocked. He was fine, but he got winded quite badly, I think. So definitely no injuries. I think that's everyone's dream out of a practice match. I think for North, the game last week against Melbourne, it was sort of a game of two halves. Our first half, we were super intense, a really, really high pressure footy. We kind of strangled the Ds a lot. The game was a bit of a scrap, but we kept it really tight. And then in the second half, our skills looked so much better, but then the game opened up and they just sort of ran over the top of us. Obviously, despite the fact that it was sort of a D's second-rate side, they still had some quality players in there. So for us playing West Coast, who I'd say are probably on par again with North this season, I just want us to be more competitive, have a more complete game, and kind of I don't really know what we're trying to do. I don't really know what our brand identity is. So yeah, I want something to be excited about. I know it's only a practice game, but I think all fans just want to see their team win, especially North. Like I'll take a win at any time. I'm really not fussy. So that's to answer your question, what I'm looking for.
No, I agree with you. I think people underplay practice games, man. I think I look back to when Carlton 2018, 2019, and now Carlton are meant to be a better side. I hear this conversation that annoys me where it's it's only a practice game. We used to win practice games in 2018, but when you're not very good, you can't pass up a win. Wins are good vibes, aren't they? A win here can make round one look totally different because you've got that positivity going into it.
100%. And also, there's still things we need to figure out. There's still players who are fighting for positions. I mean, Luke Parker and Jai Simpkin both not playing today. But there's bits and pieces that we still need to figure out before round one. And this is our last chance to do it. There are definitely some players who are in the side today or who were in the side last week. And I was like, I just don't know where they fit. So for now, I think it's just a lot of figuring out for us at the moment. Also, we're playing at Hands Oval, which is our new home away from home. So get a feel for the ground as well. And just give it a red hot crack. Isn't that what everyone wants to see?
I think you're spot on, Mans. And we've got some a chance to see some new blood, haven't we? We've got a certain Mr. Finn O'Sullivan. Our first chance to see him in a more, probably a harder game than last week in the terms of, you'd imagine the intensity is better, but we expect to see him play quite a bit. Are you excited about young Finn?
Yeah, he only played a half last week, but he looked so good last week. He's so classy on the outside. And we've got Bailey Scott on one wing, and there was a few names that were sort of thrown up into contention who would take the other. And when you saw him running down that wing last Saturday, it was made for him. Like, it was honestly made for him. So I think looking forward to seeing him play. Another guy who's playing tonight is Riley Hardiman. He's one of my favourites. Young Riley. He has only played 3 games, made his debut last year. And I think he could be a real difference, a real point of difference for us off the back, with Caleb Daniel being that sort of attacking, rebounding, defensive player. He can't do it alone. And we've seen Shees and we've seen Colby in those roles as well in the past couple of seasons. But I think both of them now just need to stay, further afield. And I think someone like Riley, he's young, sure, and he does have a way to go, but trying to get games into him to kind of play as a 1-2 with Daniel, I think is what I would be opting for, because on the flip side, you've got Darcy Tucker and Luke McDonald. Love both of them and understand there could be a position for both of them in the side, but they're way too similar player, and both of them have the same deficiencies. Their execution, their skills are just not great. And they're both more lockdown defenders than they are attacking, rebounding defenders. So fingers crossed we can get something out of Riley tonight. He's going to be one that I'll be watching really, really closely, because if we can see something from him, I had him in my best 23 at the start of the year, and I think that he should be there. So see if he lives up to that.
Eagles have put quite a strong team out. Just looking at their team, Brockman was phenomenal last week. Jake Waterman returns, who we know how good he is. They've given a bit of respect here, haven't they? So this is a real, this is probably with the exception of Oscar Allen and Luke Parker, this is probably the 2 23s we'll probably see when you guys do battle.
Yeah, they're 2 strong sides. I'm looking forward to it. Also looking forward to seeing how Jack Darling goes. My guy.
Hey, he's playing his own club. I love that signing, and he looked pretty good, didn't he, last week?
He looked so good. He looked so good last week. I'm a big Jack Darling fan.
Well, do you know what I mean? He's going to be a good... the battle I'm looking forward to seeing, we know Harley Reid gets, all the plaudits, but from what I've seen of Sheezel over the last 2 years, the maturity of Shees is insane. And I think Sheezel's probably the most underrated player under 21 in the league. I don't think he gets as much love as someone like Dacos, players like that. I think Sheezel just kind of goes about his work very quietly.
Yeah. He does. And he's so classy. And it's not just the work he does on field. He's so respected off the field as well. I love him. I really he'll be our next captain, I'm sure, in the next few years, no doubt. And Colby McKercher is another one to watch as well. Didn't get nearly as much praise last season. He spent a lot of the time on the sidelines injured. But, he is definitely, all the talk obviously about Harley Reid and about Sam Darcy, but Colby's also definitely one to watch. Hopefully we can keep him on the park as well. He's super exciting, and someone that I really hope can develop again this year.
Well, Jackson Archer gets a lot of abuse, I see, on forums from people. And he's probably going to line up, isn't he, on Liam Ryan today? That's a great test for young Jackson, isn't it? Just to show if he can do that lockdown role.
I think so. I think there's a lot of different stories that can come from this. I think we can take more away from a preseason game than we want to admit, and we don't want to get too invested in it. And I don't want to sit here and, it's one of those things, if you win, you walk away and you're like, we're winning the flag, and you lose and it's like, oh, it's just a practice game, no worries. So we'll see. Hopefully we're winning the flag by the end of tonight.
Hey, Mans, I went through it with Carlton. Like this time last week, everyone was telling me, "Don't worry, it's a practice game, Pom." And then after last
After
night's
last night,
performance,
you winning a
everyone's
flag?
telling me we're winning a flag. So,
At least one.
well, we should be about to bounce. I don't know what's happening on your screen, but they've just bounced. Have they just bounced on yours?
They're about to bounce on mine. I'm behind. Here we go. I'm up. I'm caught up.
All right, there we are. Sheasel takes the free kick anyway. Big bomb inside 50. And Darling takes the mark. There we are. Nice and easy. Easy game, this.
My guy.
Tell you what, chat, you were giving Darling a bit of abuse in chat, and like literally 22 seconds
Yeah,
in.
watch yourselves. Watch yourselves.
22 seconds in, Darling clunks it.
It's all right. We'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just a chance to practice kick in defence.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Made in Australia giving you some compliments about your background. Mans has done well with the background there. A bit of sunlight.
Background. Yeah, this is I actually film all my videos standing up, but I'm sitting down tonight so you can see the background outside the window there. The sky is actually blue. I think it's the reflection, like it's not showing through, but it's blue sky out there. It's beautiful.
Well, Darling's won another free kick.
Here he is again.
Look at this.
Don't say I didn't tell you. I'm the oracle. When he was recruited to North last year, I said this is going to be the guy.
I tell you, Darling might be a smoky for the Coleman here.
Oh, don't get me excited like that.
Can you see the guy in the background? He's double parked with Great Northern. I rate that.
Love it. Come on, Jack.
Gotta say, it's blowing an absolute gale at this ground. Absolute wind galore there.
Have you been to WA?
Not for like 12 years.
I used to live in Perth. I lived there for a year. But I've never been like down south. But I'm contemplating doing this trip later in the year.
Well, I mean, it's basically a lot warmer England, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of British people there.
Yeah, well, Mans, there's a lot of British people everywhere. We're like rabbits; we breed too quickly.
And they all like live because they want to live on the beach, so they just keep creating new suburbs like further north along the beach. In Perth.
Well, I mean, Tasmania's nice.
Nothing to do.
I'd live in Tasmania, but that's the Northern English in me. It's wet, it's cold, it's quiet, all over it.
She's again.
And She's gets a free, takes it quickly. Tell you what, North, pressure's been quite on point. And, Darling,
looking good.
Absolute menace is Jack Darling at the minute.
He is that guy.
I can assure you, Made in Australia it's water. It's water. Yeah, you won't often see me drink, mate. I'm too old to drink now, mate. That's it. My time's passed me by.
We've had 7 tackles and 5 inside our forward 50 to nothing.
I've got to say, this forward pressure, this was something last year about North. You let people off the hook really easy. Like, even last week against Melbourne, you can see you've really focused on that. As Tristan Jerry, who should be in everyone's Supercoach squad, has a shot at goal. Are you a pro helmet person, Mans?
Absolutely. If he keeps playing footy like this, he can super glue that helmet to his head. Oh. There has to be a breeze there because that's the third shot we've missed. Third set shot we've missed.
There's a big left to right There is, and for some reason, footballers, unlike us golfers, don't quite have the intelligence to aim left in a left to right. It's one of them weird things with footballers. Oh,
Tommy Powell.
shit. See Harley Reid there with the little shin to the side of the head?
No, I was too busy watching Tom Powell.
You know what I like about Harley Reid, and he did it in the draft, right? He knows all the dark arts. He knows all the dark arts. I'm a man. I love a man who cheats. You know what I mean? If you're playing sport, do whatever it takes to win. Don't care if it's morally correct or just play to win.
Boomer was like that. Boomer Harvey, and there was a great rivalry between Boomer Harvey and Ryan Crowley back in the day. And Boomer used to get under his skin, and some of the things Boomer used to do to him, oh my God, it just was so wrong. But it was so funny. It was so funny being a North supporter. If I was Ryan Crowley, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, it's my complaint about Carlton. They're too nice. And I like to see a little bit of dickheadery.
Yeah, you need it. That's what made Hawthorn so good, like that unsociable Hawthorn. You know what I mean? Like when they won like that. It was more when they won the first flag in 08 and that second flag in 13. They were just a cut above the rest by the time they won in 14-15. But those first two flags they won, it was like that real unsociable, like mongrel footy.
Yeah, it's one thing I've noticed LDU's added to his game since Clarkson's come. There's a bit of dickhead in him, and I like that.
Yeah, and he needed that. You need an edge, I think.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like I like it.
Yeah, because it's the competitive edge. Like you can't go out there just leave nothing on the field sort of thing. You know what I mean? Speak of the devil.
He wins the free kick as well. He's LDU. I'll put you on the spot, Mans. Does he stay or does he go?
He'll stay. I think he'll stay unless things go completely disastrous in the first half of the year. I think he stays.
Well, you've got another free kick. Tell you what, you've been doing it, and here's Bailey Scott, who has got more sun cream on him, as if he's a pom. Here, do you need that much sunscreen? Has he learned? He looks like he has. And there's the first of the day. Bailey Scott has the intelligence there. He aimed left, let it come back in. You know what? Good start by the Roos.
We've started so hot. Little homage to Hugh.
Oh, there we are. Look, a bit of Hugh Greenwood.
A bit of Hugh Greenwood love. It's just
Saints will offer LDU 20 mil. To be fair, though, everyone's rejecting the Saints, aren't they? Let's be honest. I mean,
yes,
it looks a little bit like my university dating record, to be fair, St Kilda.
After what I saw of them this afternoon, no takers. After I saw from what I saw from them this afternoon, I'm not surprised. They looked really average.
Well, to be fair, they offered Finn Callahan 17 million, so LDU has to be based on that value, 25 million.
Yeah, more, double that. That can't. Do you actually believe that rumor?
Well, I cover all the rumours on here, and I think one of the most common things is I just think everyone who is in Australia in the media is full of shit. I'm going to be totally honest. Genuine. Nah, because I'm just going to say this. There is no way on God's green earth a man like Finn Callahan has turned down that much money that quickly. I'm sorry, but for 17 million... I'd entertain playing for Germany. You know what I mean? I'd think about it. So I don't believe it. And Eagles have an attack and coast to coast.
That's just
caught unawares there.
Every time. That kills us every time. No, Fish isn't playing. Fish is injured. Kate.
No Fish, Kate. No Blues watch today.
No Fish, unfortunately. He's injured.
You know what? That's a little bit disappointing, that, because that is kind of like North in a nutshell. 7 minutes of dominance, and it's literally an easy out, easy goal when they've pegged you back.
Tim Kelly bred that so well off the pack. That's something we don't have either. Like, I think with Jack Darling coming in, what's so good about him is he's obviously been playing really, really well the last few weeks. But if he brings the ball to ground, at least create a contest, like, we don't really have players that are instinctively hunters, and like, we don't have players who will read the play just like Tim Kelly did there and just crumb it off a pack and kick a goal or go for it. Like, they're trying to turn. So Hansen Jr. and Jacob Constanti are both playing in this game today. Constanti's more of a defensive, like, he's been playing more of a defensive role last week, whereas Hansen Jr. was more of the attacker, despite the fact that he was pushing higher up the ground. But like, I think one of them needs to be able to play that role and crumb, because that's like what we haven't had a good small forward for years.
I think that's fair. You know what though, Brady Howell there, brave mark against the ball. Made in Australia. What is football? Are you on about football that we're watching, which I know you are an expert in? Or are you on about, as you Australians would heavingly describe, soccer? Is that what you're on about? I can't bring myself to say it. You won't see it. Tell you what, great get there. North on the attack, and Marnie's mate, Robert Hansen Jr. straight into the action.
I'm cute. He must have heard me.
You're good at this, man. Tell you are. You know who my favourite player is, who you've got, and I was huge on him in the draft, and I am gutted Carlton didn't pick him up, but that is none other than Paul Curtis, one of my favourite players.
He'll have a big year. I think he's just getting better.
I'm a real big fan. I remember in his draft, he had the plugs in his ears. Had his ears slightly stretched. He's got a big personality. We don't have many football players with personality, and he's got personality.
He does, and he's got swagger. So does Eddie Ford, but Eddie Ford, he's not playing today, but same.
Well, he's still recovering from the Kangas TV season launch, so I mean, I can forgive him.
Yeah, fair. Clarko had to give him a day off.
Talking about people that you love to hate, Cam Zurhaar splits opinion, doesn't he? This is a man here who would steal his nan's last Ferrero Rocher.
Do you know what? Cam Zurhaar, his on-field personality and off-field personality could not be more different.
Don't tell me he's nice. Don't make me like him.
He's quite reserved. He's pretty reserved.
Really?
Yeah.
He strikes me as the kind of guy in a real busy Saturday afternoon, goes in the one-way zone at Coles the opposite way, and then decides to reverse park. He's that type of guy. The worst human being ever.
He's got his own personality. He's pretty. He's definitely his own person and stands on his own. He's not one of these guys that's every cut and dry AFL player, cookie cutter. And we're dominating the clearances, by the way. Can I just say?
I've got to say, you have been very impressive. And Finn O'Sullivan's little dance there to buy a bit of time. That nice signs from the Baby Roos.
Yeah. Oh my, that was good. Go Cobb.
Oh, tell you what. North have done this before.
Oh, good. Are we winning the flag?
I was going to say, is it too early to say flag Roos?
I've been saying it since October.
I've got to say, one of the things I admire about Marnie is she's going through a tough patch with a football team. But She is infectiously positive, which is a good thing to see.
Oh my God, that kick from Larky. That was terrible.
Well,
Are we on the same? Are we on the
we
same?
are. I saw it.
Terrible.
I'm going to give Nick Larkey something, though. We've said you've got to aim left to swing it back in, right? But
yeah,
maybe not that left.
Do you know what I love it? What I've noticed about this first quarter, JD again. Sorry, give me a moment to
Tell
watch
you
this.
what.
I love him. I love him.
Just it's the footy IQ in, is it, that you can't buy. You can't buy that type of IQ.
Yeah.
Like
your body might give his body hasn't even given way. Like he's so strong.
I'll tell you what.
Here he is
Coleman
again.
medal. Coleman medal inbound.
This man is unstoppable. I love him. I love him so much.
Is the 800k man Matt always playing? He is playing, but true to form, he has been unsighted.
The ball's barely gone into West Coast attacking half, to be fair.
Right, here we are, look, Jack Darling.
Oh, come on. Give me something, Jack.
To be fair, though, to Jack Darling, he has been everywhere this quarter.
Yeah, he has. He's been so good. Now, one thing I love about our forward line at the moment is we're very unpredictable. Like, we are not going. That is the one thing. Like, and our forward line isn't even that different to what it was 12 months ago. But just adding Jack Darling in, like, we've got multiple people inside forward 50 who are putting their hand up. Like, Nick Larkey was a target, but JD's been a target. Bull's been a target as well. Like, it just alleviates so much pressure off our forward line, just having that one extra player in there. And there's no disrespect to Bryn Teakle, because I thought he was good last year, but it makes a massive difference. It makes us look so much more dangerous when we're going forward.
You know what's really impressed me, though, is West Coast are trying to stretch you when they're kicking in, and the discipline from your forwards not to be dragged out of position, take away all the short kicks. Like, that'll stand you in good stead. Like, that'll stand you if you can do that throughout the year. Only very good teams will have the kicking power to beat that.
Mm-hmm. It's just about.
Tell you what, you're playing football, mans. Your boys are playing a bit of football here.
This worries me. Like, they've got the fast. Oh no, that was good from Tom Powell. Never mind. I said nothing.
You know what I am enjoying, though, is you are trying to get that handball game going. You're going to make mistakes because you're a young, inexperienced side, but that's the right way of playing.
Yeah, I think the fast-moving footy, like, our skills by foot are pretty ordinary. And I think for us trying to generate, and it's hard because we're also not fit enough to play that, like, hyper-attacking game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the signs are there. Like, for me, this is how, in 3 years' time, when your bodies are better, you'll be pretty good.
Yeah. Like, this is really, like, encouraging signs as a supporter watching this. It's like chalk and cheese from last week. Because last week we were in the game early as well.
I'll tell you what. But your read off the back of packs has been brilliant today.
Come on.
Go on.
PC.
Oh, here he is, look. Oh.
But that's exciting. That's what you want. He's the guy. We are dominating this game. We are dictating it. Like, it's
Made in Australia makes a great 100%. Point. Who is a footballer that you really love that's underrated? Like Archie, I think he's very underrated. Who's like the ultimate role player at North?
Ultimate role player at North. I thought that, I know a lot of people would disagree with me, so I'll give you two. I think Darcy Tucker last year actually had quite a good year. Very serviceable, and one of those guys that plays his role and everyone else around him does the fancy stuff. I think that he won't get the credit. And I know before the game started, I said that I'm not sure if he'll be in the side this year just because his kicking can let us down from time to time. But I really do enjoy what he offers because I think you need guys who just get the work done. So then the guys like Shees and Colby and LDU can do the flashy stuff and look good. And then I think I'd be doing myself an injustice if I didn't say Aiden Core.
They're both very. He's really underrated.
He's very underrated. And I think the thing with clubs that are not good is that it's easy to blanket the defense and say the defense is rubbish. But when the ball is coming in 80 times a game and often under little to no pressure from the midfield and at a frenetic pace and those repeat entries, there's actually only so much the backline can stop. So guys like Charlie Comben and Aiden Core had really good years last year, but it's so hard when you're getting pumped up just about every week, it's it's really hard to judge. So I think, and also when I interviewed Aiden, he was saying, Brisbane last year, I think had less than 10 players rotate through their backline all season. They just got such continuity in that back six. They could really trust each other. They communicated well. I think we had more than 20 players go through that backline last year, or around 20, because we had so many injuries and we were just trying to fill gaps where and things just weren't working and we were trying different things. So this year, hopefully a clean bill of health and an increased work rate from the midfield, which even in this game already looks like it's lifted. Hopefully, guys like Aiden Corp will get the chocolates and they'll get the plaudit they deserve. So yeah, that'd be my two.
Manny, you know what? Music to my ears, someone giving a bit of respect to backmen in bad teams. Because I feel like everyone blames backmen in every game. I remember speaking to Jacob Wheaterin, and Wheaterin saying the weirdest thing about being good from being rubbish is 50 less inside 50s. And it's harder to concentrate now, Carlton are good, because you get moments where you switch off. As North play some scintillating football here.
Our disposal in that forward no good though. Jeez.
Well, Brainy Topic says the same. I would agree. So, been a little bit wasteful despite the dominance.
Yeah.
Good day, Ben. Ben giving everyone love.
Hey, Ben.
You know what is worrying here? And I was a big fan of Eagles last week. Is they have been really, really behind.
I'm really sorry. Sorry for West Coast fans. I can't give you anything tonight.
They look honestly very concerning that they just haven't matched the intensity as of yet of North Melbourne.
Do you know who I was speaking to during the week who I said needed to watch this game very closely or he'd be hearing from me at the end of the game? Is our friend Jesse from True Footy.
How is Jesse?
Jesse's really great. He's back in Perth. He's loving life. He's great Mark from sort of there.
Savlaki.
No. He's great. He's doing really well. He's very much just taking some time out, some much deserved time out. I think everyone knows how hard he works and, so yeah, he's just enjoying life for a bit.
I like that for him.
Which is great.
Nick Larkey, another unlikable North Melbourne forward, kicks a goal.
You can't still be hung up about that one game, 2021.
Mans, it might surprise you, but here on the Pommy and Oz show, we bear a grudge for a long time.
I better watch myself then. I've got 3 quarters and 3 minutes to make sure I stay on your good side.
No, it's all right. You're not playing Carlton, but I'm going to say Nick Larkey's going to cop abuse until he probably
How is
retires,
the
to be
vision
fair.
and cheese there though? Like that is the difference. Having someone like Shees kicking the ball into the forward 50, sees an option. So good.
You know what? When you look at the goal kickers there, what gives me hope for North is you've got a small forward there with 30, Larky with the entries last year managing just under 50. You've probably got another 30 from Jack Darling already as well.
What I was trying to say to someone the other day, and I've said this so many times, like in my mind, look, I think Jack Darling as a player himself has shown already so much more than I thought he was going to get. And he's a lot more involved than I thought he was going to be initially. But my whole thinking with Darling is measure his success not on what he contributes personally, but on what the likes of Zerha and Curtis and even Hansen Jr. And Dane Dersma, if he comes back into the side. I mean, Dersma was playing midfield in that intra-club game a couple of weeks ago, but it's what these guys get out of it. If someone like Paul Curtis or someone like Cam Zerha can give us a return of, 40, 50 goals alongside Larky, then in my mind, that's Jack Darling doing his job to free these guys up.
Yeah, centre bounce agrees.
Anything he does himself is just a bonus. But in my mind, I'm not being biased just because I like him, but in my mind, he's been one of the standouts in this preseason so far.
You know what, Marnie? Ben's giving you an insight into the watch along. Jason Horn-Francis, LDU cops it as well. Hyphenated names. Quite often, Marnie, on this show, with a hyphenated name, I will tell the player he's got to man up and pick a side. He either loves his mum more or his dad more. You can't be both.
That is something you would say.
Yeah, Jason Horn-Francis cops it quite a bit, to be fair, which you'll appreciate because I'm sure you don't like Jason Horn-Francis as well.
Yeah, it's funny because up until his draft year, he went by Jason Horn, didn't he? And then he added the Francis in after.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Jason Horn-Francis, he's one hell of a footballer, to be fair. He's a very good footballer.
Oh, he's a star. I'm so over the whole rivalry. It's so boring. It actually bores me.
Tell you what, you see there, Caleb Daniel, right? Absolute genius there. Yeah. His intelligence.
Colby was great. This is a really nice build-up. The smothered.
Tell you what, just until that little mistake there, but he's done pretty well to cover it. He's just, you are actually playing football. I think
who's gone down? Hansen
that's
Jr.
Robert Hansen.
I've got to say the injuries.
I think he's all right. That looked more of a. I think that was like a little bit of a love tap in between the legs.
Yes. Sorry. Continue. I was having a meltdown. You were saying that.
So, do you know what I mean? I can assure you, just a cup of tea, and he'll be all right. You know what I mean? A cup of tea, give him a cuddle, he'll be fine. But I have been impressed. You are playing football, Marnie. At the moment, North are playing football in the right way. See, he's all right. Look, see,
we've managed to find a really. He's great. Oh no, we're good.
Oh, Caleb Daniel with his second intercept mark.
He's going to be really good for us. He's going to be really good for us, Caleb Daniel.
I'll tell you what. I'm North going to go coast to coast with 5 seconds left on the clock. Good quarter.
Great quarter. Nice.
Mans, this could be, I'm telling you, this could be North Ball flag loading.
Do you know what I really like about that quarter? So last week, we couldn't play a mixture of defensive footy and offensive footy in the one quarter. The first half was this weird scrap. We just like it, and it was hot. Like, it wasn't even like it was wet conditions, nothing like that. We just turned it into a bit of a slog, right? And then the second half, we were playing a lot more attacking footy, running it a lot easier. The game opened up, but then, like I said, that's when we allowed the Ds to come back the other way. This is exactly what we need. This is us being able to move and shift quicker from gear to gear, from offense to defense, which I really, really like. But what helps is we're getting our hands on the ball first. We've smashed them in the clearances. Like, we're winning just about every clearance. Will Phillips doesn't get enough credit that he deserves either. And he's a massive reason, I think.
I agree with you. I thought last week against Melbourne, though, it felt like your legs went in the third.
Well, it was probably just hot. It was our first real. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but for all we know, they've put the cue in the rack at halftime. A lot of people also forget we play Melbourne in round 2. So we play Melbourne in exactly a month after we play them in an intra-club game. Are we really going to be giving all of our secrets away then and there just for them to walk all over us in round 2?
Mans, I like your theory, and you've been so good there with your analytics that Paul has gifted 10 subscriptions to the Pommy Oz channel. So if you are a recipient, say that drunk, of Paul's generosity, make sure you thank Paul. Top man is Paul, good friend of the channel, but make sure you say thank you. Make sure you say thank you. Everyone's lovely, but Mans, what if you were an Eagles fan, which you're not? Looking at that quarter, would you be slightly worried at how easy the Eagles how easy North have controlled that game?
Yeah, I would be, because I think, and Jesse and I had this discussion, as a North fan over recent years, I have always gone into West Coast games thinking we're a shot at winning this. Like, you go up against a Sydney or a Port Adelaide or even like the Crows, Carlton at sometimes as well. We're no chance. Let's just get out of here unscathed. Whereas every West Coast game I go in and I'm like, no, we're a chance here. And I think West Coast fans probably feel the same way about North. So I'd be really disappointed if I was a West Coast fan. They had that
really bizarre as well.
Nice
it's been a bizarre game as well, because I think the difference between you guys and them at the minute is the experience. Darlin and Daniel controlling the game both ends of the arc, where I feel like Eagles look like the babies, don't they? They look a bit jittery.
Yeah, we're running all over them. But even like Will Phil and Harry Sheasel, these guys are young and they're just doing what they want with it. Even Hanson Jr.'s done some nice things, I think, as well.
I agree. Look, if I see this one more quarter, I might be getting on the Flag Root train.
Come on, you're all welcome.
Flag Root.
You're all most welcome.
Yeah. You know what? I always get a soft spot for people I like's team, and that's one of the bad things about liking Marnie, is I get invested in North games, which, having gone through what I have done with Carlton, it's not really healthy taking on that stress as well.
But I make it fun.
Do you know what I mean? Like, tell you what, Supercoach watch. Look at that. Tristan Jerry, 52 Supercoach points.
I feel sorry for anyone doing Supercoach, because I feel like everyone's teams have taken a beating over the weekend so far.
It is. It depends if you were clever and you had Lucas Camparelli,
or if you were even more clever and don't do it.
Yeah, to be fair, you did pretty well there, lads. You did pretty well.
Thank you.
Good point here by the legend that is Graham King. Strong wind. So, I mean, the wind was catastrophic with the kicking. It'll be interesting to see how you guys see if there is anything in that, because we saw that with Carlton versus St Kilda. Everyone said, don't worry about the first quarter. It's just the wind. And then St Kilda seemed to manage to negate the wind for 4 quarters and Carlton couldn't. So that also happens too with wind. We've got the legend that is Walter Edwards, our weekly troll as well. Why is it always the Richmond fans as well? Like, here's a question for chat. Why is it always the Richmond fans that give Small Willie energy in chat? There's got to be something with it.
I don't get it.
It's
don't watch it. If you don't want to be here,
you know what? You know what does turn me on though? It's the Australian use of champ. Is my favourite. Like quality phrase. Yeah, I mean, it's good value. Good value.
What Walter doesn't know is he's feeding in to like things that just make you so excited. Like I'll call Pom and I'll have a cry about a troll, and he's like, "Oh, I get off on that. Like I wish he'd come and attack me next."
Yeah, it's a little bit like Viagra to me, to be honest. Stoodsy, give us a bit of intel. Luke Parker, where is Mr. Parker today?
He's been rested for this game, so the club have sort of taken a look at his pre-season, and he's done everything that they asked for him, from him, should I say, up until this point. So they said you can just spend the weekend in Melbourne. So he's back in Melbourne, and Jai Simpkin has a virus, which is why he's not playing.
You know what, Jai Simpkin, he looked pretty good, didn't he, in the Indigenous game, didn't he? He looked like he's found a little bit of form there.
Yeah, so he won the Polly Farmer medal. He was awesome. Absolutely loved his game. That is a very similar game that he played against West Coast last year when we had our first win over in Perth at Optus Stadium. He's been appointed sole captain of the club this season. So I am really looking forward to seeing if he can just step up and just sort of embrace it and kind of relish in the responsibility. And he was really, it was a very emotive performance from him. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he can repeat that when he comes back into the side. Hopefully round 1, he'll be ready to go.
What have you done as well with my boy, Braden George? Where is he?
I saw Braden the other week. Always smiling. Great guy.
I like a bit, George.
He is... See, they got their hands on they got the clearance, and it's just way too easy. Like, we have to get our hands on the footy first to be able to. Otherwise,
it's the wind. It's the wind.
Yeah, well, I don't like it. We looked so good in that. The wind isn't the reason why we're not winning the clearance. Come on now.
Barnes, North ball hinges on the wind. Let's see if Jake Waterman's clever, though. See, you know what? I respect that from Waterman. He's learnt from everyone. He knows where the breeze is. Like, intelligent footballer.
Of course he has. Of course he has, hasn't he?
Mans, you'll be fascinated. Marvel, you'll know this. Playing at Marvel probably more than any football side in Victoria. There's like a hidden breeze, isn't there, at Marvel? No one talks about it, but there is a weird little breeze at the top where the roof is. And how many footballers haven't worked it out, like, in a whole game? Charlie Curnow's guilty of it, does not realise the ball slightly deviates.
How do you feel this year, the Blues playing more games at the G?
I prefer us playing at the G, to be honest. There's something about Marvel. I don't know what it is, but I am weird. I prefer going to watch games at the Marvel than the G. I think, controversial, it's a better atmosphere in the Marvel than the G.
I mean, I've been to games at Marvel where the atmosphere has been like electric. And I think it's a myth that there's no atmosphere at Marvel, because I've been to some games and at Marvel where the atmosphere has been just unreal. Nick Larkey's playing a very good game, just quietly as well. But I just think that it's got nothing to do with the venue and it's got everything to do with the crowd. Like, come on now. Don't tell me that's not true.
Tell you what, can I just say, North Melbourne just quietly, stoppage and centre clearance kings at the minute. But tell you what, look out, North are coming.
Yeah. That was always our strong point, though, last year as well. Yeah.
Marns, this is a question for you and centre bounce if they're in there. Jerry, Caleb Daniel, Shizo, ODU, and Foss in Supercoach. Has he gone too many roos? Can you have too many roos?
No. Never have too many roos, mate. I'm the wrong person to ask. If I played Supercoach, my entire team would be North Melbourne. So
I don't know. I tell you what, our boy Paul Curtis takes another mark. Good question by Made in Australia. Make sure you like the stream chat. There's a few of you keep drifting in and out, so make sure you are liking it, helping pump the algorithm. You've got Manny's had a haircut just for the event, so be nice.
Sorry, guys, I'm hungry.
Can I just say that is an interesting choice of kick from Paul Curtis there.
Hasn't mastered the wind going the other way.
Confusing. Oh, you see, look, Manny, you've got a fan.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, mate, make sure you've got the tip in. Hey, you know what? This is why I have a chat. As North Melbourne are just taking the P155 at the minute. And Paul Curtis has a chance. If he does what he just did in a kick, this will go through.
Mick Larkey is playing a hell of a game. He's been everywhere as well.
I've got to say, I think I think we can safely say flag season loading.
Yeah, lock it in. You think I'm unhinged when we're bad? Wait till we're good. Oh boy. Nice goal from PC.
If you are in chat as well, remember we've got a free competition, and don't say that we don't look after you here, because I would like to say this is on me, but this is on Mrs. Pond. But there is cash prizes for first, second, and third. I believe it's 300 for winning it, 200 for second. No, wait. 100 for second, 50 for third. That's it, yeah. Yeah. So all you've got to do is be subscribed to the channel. Subscribed and click that link and test your footy knowledge. Manny, are you double streaming? Did you do that?
I don't think so. How do I do that?
Oh, Manny's missed an opportunity.
Sorry, guys. It's a rookie error.
Make sure you go and you know what, as well? While you're clicking links, make sure you give Marnie a follow. She does do kangaroo content, but I've got to say, Marnie is good value just to be entertained by her falling in love with the ruse.
We do some good stuff over on Kangaroo TV. Haven't actually done any in-season content yet. Started the channel on trade deadline day last year, so got it this far, and everyone seems to be really enjoying it. So,
you know what is sad, Marnie, is we haven't seen you do like what Jake does, and done like a review in the car at Marvel, having a breakdown. Like Ben will confess, that's this channel's guilty pleasure is watching people do a review when they lose.
Of course it is.
Mans, people do it to me, so I'll do it to everyone else. And Jake Waterman picks off where he left off last year, and he's got the weirdest kicking action in football.
Jake Waterman's their only goal scorer.
You know what? Jake Waterman reminds me of whenever we've had any tree work done at this house. He is always the guy climbing the tree. I believe a technical term is arborist. I could be wrong.
It's a shocking haircut. Like, there are some mullets, and then there's that.
He just looks like he can climb a tree, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, his game, he credited the improvement in his game from Jack Darling last year. So it's interesting to see that he's just still, like, he's kind of just continued on that form. His clearly confidence is sky high, which is great.
Yeah, I think what Marnie's telling me is Cam Zerha legacy season incoming.
Surely. It's about time.
Made in Australia asks the question.
Can I kick? Not really. No, I'm more of a football viewer than I am a player.
I reckon Marnie. I reckon Marnie can kick. I reckon she's lying. I reckon
Marnie
strikes me as if we were down the pub. She'd be asking us to help her play pool, and then she suddenly says, "Let's play for a bit of money," and she turns into Paul Newman from The Hustler. That is what I think happened.
I can't kick. I wasn't really a sporty kid. I played basketball, but like I wasn't that good at it either, to be honest. But our first home game last season was against Freo, and Marmalade did a collaboration with Puma, and they had they always have like those competitions like on the like at halftime, quarter time with the fans. I don't want to watch this anymore.
It's definitely the wins, man. Tell you, it's a 10-goal win, man. Don't worry. Tim Kelly kicks it through.
So. And so I went onto the ground as one of the 3 people, and it was like the best kick won. And I somehow just mustered up this epic, like, it just had so much spin on it, this kick. And yeah. There you go.
So I told you. Manny's a smoky here. I did notice that, Matt, that she used her pen to point at me as well. Don't worry, Matt. we notice everything here. But there it is. But I mean, we look at this game, Mans. You've lost control out of the centre, haven't you? Them stoppages there. You're not getting your hands on it.
Nah, that at the moment, I feel like that's where the game's being won and lost, because we don't have like, and this was my issue last week, is teams were able to catch us on a spread and we just aren't getting our hand. I mean, this is nice though. Luke McDonald's played quite a good game, actually. North fans are going to hate me saying that. Oh,
Kangaroo TV royalty, I believe.
He is. He's a good man, Luke McDonald. I love him.
You know what? Great little chase there.
Oh, Will. Well done. I think I'm just behind you.
It's all right.
Oh, Darcy Tucker. That was high. That was high. Should have been a free kick to Darcy Tucker.
And the wind, man.
Okay, guys. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Enjoy the rest of the game. Okay.
Maybe it's Eagles. Maybe it's flag Eagles. But I mean, I agree with what Marnie's saying. They've not got their hands on the ball. And to be fair, Eagles have just been ruthlessly efficient. You know, one thing that concerns me, I'd love your take. I know it's pre-season, but 4 goals, 7. Like, if we had 4 goals to your score from the last quarter, this game's dead and buried. Very wasteful.
Yeah, so wasteful. We had 9 scoring shots to 1 in the first quarter. 3 goals, 6.
What is Marnie eating?
Shit.
Good call. What are you eating,
I'm eating
man?
a protein bar. Protein bar.
What flavour?
Peanut butter. So good. Here you go. Here's the wrapper.
See, I'm good at
There you
this. You
go.
see, I just distract her. You see, as so she doesn't see the TV. I'm good at this. Good at this. Yeah, you know what I mean?
This is why I said I would never do a watch along. I'm gonna have a meltdown in a minute.
Well, I mean, here we are. I mean, again,
We're winning
though.
the flag 20 minutes ago.
Do you know what I mean? It's just slightly gone off the boil, and you just can't get your hands on it, can you? And you know what? Credit. You probably don't want to hear this, but credit to the Eagles. They have they've really just changed it up a little bit, and at the moment, North need this though. You need this test, Marms. This is a good test of your character here. 4 goals in a row now. Someone's got to win the ball.
It's a good test of my nervous system. Like the last 10 years of my life haven't been a good test of my nervous system.
You know what, though? You are winning the ball at ease. You're just not really doing anything with it, like that kick there.
Well, that's just our execution into the forward 50 has been an age-old problem. Like we've had issues for years in that area.
Philip, it's all right because you've got the win next quarter. I mean, we can deduce that this is definitely a 10-goal win. 10-goal win. Ground's cooked. Let's be honest.
Yeah. So,
you know what? I'd never bag
there's
a
not
ground.
much going on with Bunbury, is it? No disrespect. No disrespect to the people of Bunbury, but there's not much going on there by the looks of things.
Oh, tell you what, the intensity is lifted from the Eagles. There's a little bit of a fire, a little bit of desire, a little bit of fight. You love to see it.
We should have answers for them. We look like Bambi.
You know what, though? It needed to be done. We did talk about it in the first quarter that the senior heads of Eagles need to step up, and fair play to them. They've brought it. Here we are, Colby just dancing in the middle. Oh, well, this corridor football.
Here we go. Like, hit someone. That is such a simple kick.
Yeah, here we are. It's all right. Flag Ruse was just having a break. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right, Pat.
Right.
Ooh, bit of patience from you, Ruse, here. A lot of time for it.
Good. It's nice to actually think about something for a second.
Like this. A little bit of kick to kick outside 50. A lot of time for that.
I don't mind it.
You know what? Shout out Eagles, though. They've gone at 100% inside 50. Like, that is insane, to be fair.
Crazy.
Hey, man's bit just toying with your prey here, North Melbourne.
It's good.
Oh, Shazel.
Oh, that kick. Oh. Oh. All that build up for nothing.
You know what? That is actually elite. That I've got a lot of time for Dan there. I think I've done that many a time as well to my mates. Blues are so back, and then about 10 seconds later, we're about 10 goals down. It's happened to me.
You should have seen my phone round 14 last year. We played Collingwood. Like the text messages and like the chain. Rough. It was blowing up for 2 hours. Like, I think more people messaged me that day than on my birthday.
I remember how excited you were though when you got your first win last year. That was my favourite moment of 2024.
The best was, so we had our first win against West Coast. That was unreal. But then we played our first win in Melbourne last year was against the Suns at Marvel Stadium on my birthday. I feel like everyone's heard this story. And so the club actually gave me like 25 tickets, and all my family and like a bunch of my closest mates, we all like went to the game together and we won. And it was honestly one of the best days of my whole life. So good.
Well, I mean, there's the flag secret. North Melbourne, if you're watching, give Marnie 25 tickets every week.
Just play big games on my birthday every year.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Flag ruse.
Yep. Hashtag flaggers every year.
You know what you've done well?
It's simple.
You've done well to actually curb the scoring here. I am actually impressed.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, yeah, that's good. We've been able to steady the ship a little bit, but they've hit the front now, which is annoying. Like, we've only responded once they hit the front. But it's better than them just continuing to roll all over us.
Yeah. Ben, when we lost to Collingwood in round 23, I have some of the best texts. If you go through like a 2-minute patch on my phone, there's some absolute awesome texts from my mates there, like, congratulations, enjoy finals, bomb. And then one of my mates sent a message with the asterisk going, scratch that. Absolutely brilliant. It actually made me laugh. Like, I was that heartbroken just reading it, of him going, I'm so happy for you, mate. Enjoy finals. Welcome to the big time. And then he just went, yeah, scratch that. I was like, quality.
That's rough.
You know what? Swoop Luke, 3 weeks in a row, because Carlton lost like final quarter 3 weeks in a row, sent me the same text with a minute to go going, well done, Pom, you deserve it more than most. Absolute curse, that kid.
He's actually like, he's upped it. Oh, yeah.
Well worked out there. That's good football by the Roos.
Nice. How good is Harry Sheezel? Can we just talk about Harry Sheezel, please?
He's pretty good. I'll be honest, I could maybe find a spot for him at the Blues.
No, well, that's not necessary. I appreciate the offer, but he's so good.
I wouldn't turn him down if Sheezel wanted to come to the Blues.
He's actually just a class above the rest, honestly.
Oh, dear, that wasn't great.
He has been woeful.
Yeah.
And there's no wind there.
I've been paired with people like this on the golf course before. It's a long day if you're playing with these type of people. Yeah, you know what, Tom? Sheezel he'd be an interesting one from a fantasy point of view. Now he's playing in the midfield. He's not getting them halfback touches. Still finding a lot of the ball, though.
Nice from Griff. Yeah, he does, because he's our best player. Well, one of our best players.
You know what, Ben? If I had Saints money, Sheezel's the type of guy you go for. Like you can't pay. I like Finn Callahan, but 17 million, Jesus.
But I think, look, whether that was true or not, don't know. But can kind of sympathize with the Saints. Like, the thing with North, and I said this in a Q&A I did last week, like, I think from North's perspective, like, there are some guys out there on big money that shouldn't be on big money, or big contracts who shouldn't be on big contracts, but we don't really have the big crowds or the on-field success at the moment to really lure players in. So you probably do need to offer a little bit more than you should to secure players like this. So Saints are in that same boat as North, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something we talk about quite a bit on this show. Like when we talked about them contracts, I think people forget you've got to pay it because once you get one through the door, you
Yeah.
you kind of have them forever. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to get them through the door. So, like,
Yeah.
no offense to North Melbourne and Saints, but how can they sell a flag dream when they've been bottom four for the last 7 years? Like, players aren't stupid.
The good thing at North that we've got in our favour, bar LDU, is that the buy-in from, well, I mean, I still think LDU is going to sign, but the buy-in from the playing group's been really good. Like, Larkey signed a big deal last year. Simkin signed a big deal last year. Sheasel signed a big deal last year. Bull ended up re-signing. Big deal. So there's a few players there that, you know, like there's a few players there that the buy-in's already really strong. So hopefully then like you can attract players that you're trying to go after. Sherry's another one, signed a 4-year deal last year. So you know what I mean? Maybe that probably would work in our favour as well. A lot of people want to leave North, which is nice. I know a lot of people would say that there's a lot of players there that no one would want anyway, but I don't think that's true. I think all those guys I named, they would all, you know, be able to get games elsewhere. So, yeah.
Travis, to answer your question, he's at a wedding. Is Oscar Allen, evidently. So that's probably code for plotting his move to Brisbane. Because I don't really think that's an excuse. Unless that's your own wedding, I don't really give you an out to miss a game of football for a wedding, to be fair.
Not even a pre-season one.
Nah, do you know what I mean? Show commitment to your mates. You know what I mean? You could go to your mate's wedding, or you could play for the Eagles and go for the after party. You know what I mean? Show a bit of commitment. You know what, though? North have done it. Unless it's his partner's wedding. Well, I mean, Ben. At least he knows about it, doesn't he? Hey, that would be funny. It'd be funny if he didn't know about it. You know what I do like about you were talking about the players that have stayed. I think if you look at the guys you've recruited, with the exception of LDU, the most expensive position you've got coverage for 10 years, your midfield is stacked. So any salary cap space you've got, you can target key position players of that ilk. Do you know what I mean? That top it up. You've kind of got your superstar midfield.
Yeah. I don't think losing LDU would be detrimental from a talent point of view. I think it would be detrimental from like a culture and like morale point of view, because I think the big rumor is that he hasn't re-signed because he wants to see improvement on field. So while, like I mentioned, all those guys had re-signed and the buy-in from them has been really, really great, if he can't see it coming to life, then that's really disappointing. And I think a lot of people have sort of said, oh, like I'm not going to get caught up in number of wins for a pass mark or not, blah, blah, blah. But I think you have to. Like, I think it's one thing. Like we watch this game and we look considerably better than we did last week. But if you can't actually win the game, it doesn't mean anything. Like we've got to start putting these wins on the board, because as a fan, I need tangible proof of improvement, not just watching us and being like, oh yeah, I can see what we're trying to do. And like I said, the form this week compared to last week, like chalk and cheese. But like it's got to show you got to have something to show for it.
No, I agree with you. I think it's going to be an interesting what LDU does. As Finn O'Sullivan, to tell you what, the kicking goal has been caught somewhere between either genius or outlandish. To be fair, Ben, all the way from WA, I agree with you, mate. Your Indigenous boys, they always impress me though. Like you've got a really good. A lot of the young players as well at the Eagles, they've just got something about them. I really like the Eagles and North because I think their young players have got quite a little bit of mongrel. and a bit of fight about all of them, which is rare in young teams.
Yeah, that's what happens when your skill's not up there. Not that like there obviously are skillful players out there, but like as a whole, there's a reason why I'm like towards the bottom of the ladder. Skills aren't great, so you got to have that fight, I would say.
You know what? It's deceptive because Caleb Daniel is very small, but he plays tall.
There is my height. Caleb Daniel's my height.
Is he?
Yeah. Just about.
Well, there we go. There we are. I mean, he seems to play taller though, doesn't he? Like he's deceptively quite big and strong in the game.
Yeah, he's a very confident player, which I really like. Like, and that's obviously why he is so cool and calm under pressure, is because he's confident. And that's a really big thing that we need in a side that overall has had their confidence shot. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
So, yeah, I think I think he's going to be a really big recruit for us. And I think a lot of people think we gave a lot up for him. I don't disagree with that necessarily. But
well, I think if you look at the good rebuilds, and I always say this, it's about having the experience there. And I think when you look at North, no offence to the senior players, but I don't think you had any senior players that I'd want young kids to learn off. And this year, bringing in Caleb Daniel, bringing in Jack Darling, Luke Parker, I think they're standard setters on the training track.
Well, I mean, we last won a final in 2015, and the only person on our list up until this year that had played in that last winning final was Luke McDonald.
Jesus.
Yeah, so, and Aiden Paul played in that 2019 grand final, but like otherwise there wasn't really a lot in there.
It's an underrated part of rebuilding, Mans. Like I think people think, like I looked at North last year and I used to complain that at times I felt they were a little bit weak when it got hard.
Yeah.
Like it felt like they weren't willing to put their head over the ball. And I look at the three guys you've brought in. They are the kind of guys you want as standard setters, aren't they? They are like, we know Luke Parker. I mean, Luke Parker tried to kill someone in VFL. Like, that's the level of that player. Like, that's how hard he wants to win. Jack Darling, he performs at high levels. You want that around your club so the kids pick it up.
Yeah.
There we are. Look.
Royalties here. Uh-oh.
Here we are. Look. Sydney, they'll be up and about as well, won't they? Do you know what I mean? Coxball is all the rage now.
What about Errol last night?
Have we had any announcement what's wrong with Errol?
Yeah, I think I said he's out for 6 weeks. I'm going to have a look. Sorry, guys. I'll have a quick... Let's have a quick gaze.
Because that'll be quite sad. Tell you what, the injuries this year have actually been shocking.
Yeah. I don't even... Oh, okay, there you go. Thank you.
Surely not. Surely you're on the wind-up.
Why would he lie about something like that?
Don't know. Football fear makes you do weird things, man. You can't explain it.
No, well, we played the Bulldogs in round 1, right? And I said at the start of the year, I reckon we'll win that game. This is before anything happened. I don't even know if the Dogs have a side to field against us. They've lost so many players. There's no Bont, no Jamara, no Cody Waitman, and Cody Waitman just kills us every single time. There's a couple others I'm pretty sure that are missing there too. Like, it could be on for a round 1 win. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but
Man's penciling it in, chat. Yeah, I've just seen it is actually a broken ankle, but the club has said they won't tell us a schedule until he's had the surgery. So, I mean, let's speculate. That's what? Broken ankle? 8, 12 weeks?
6 to 8 weeks. Nah. They said 6 to 8 this morning, but maybe they're lying.
Suppose. I mean, let's have a look. Broken ankle. That's the AFL recovery. I broke my ankle under 17s football. I was out for 12 weeks. So either I am incredibly soft or incredibly tough. We'll find out. The average person will return to sport 3 to 4 months after surgery. So that's what? 4, 8, 12, 16. So I'm better than the average person. There we are. It's good to see. So we'll find out.
We already knew that. You didn't need Google to tell us that. Thanks.
We'll find out. We'll find out. But I mean, yeah. It's good. It's gutting. I mean, I think Sydney though, if they're still in chat, I think Sydney though, they've probably got so much talent.
Yeah,
that they can cover that for till the bye.
That'd be fine. Sydney and Geelong are like the two sides that just don't really have to worry. Like, the culture's so good, they're so disciplined that you could put just about anyone in there and they'd be fine. It's like Richmond when they were at the peak of their powers, like 2017 to 2020 or 2021. Like, they were so disciplined and their structure and their identity was so strong that you could actually slot just about anyone into that side and they'd look like a superstar. Like Jake Arts. Remember Jake Arts? He made his debut against North in 2020. Like, just an absolute fucking nobody. And was like almost best on ground. Just like...
There was loads of them. Do you remember, if we go back to that like 2017 team, do you remember like if you got like the 28th best player at Richmond, your club made out like you got the best player in the world?
Yeah, like they had a pretty like, no disrespect to any Richmond fans in there. Obviously, it was incredible what they did, but they had stars, but they also just had some real plotters. And they just sort of made it work.
You know what? I remember Carlton signing Callum Moore from them. And I two parts of this story, right? Everyone at Carlton got really excited because it was the 2017. He didn't quite get in, but he didn't get in against Rewell. He didn't get in against Martin. This is the player's good. And you know, on the day we signed, my mate was out on the beers. And he heard this noise, right? These guys getting a bit leery. And no word of a lie, it was Callum Moore with his shirt off, holding a shot of beer. A shot of Jägermeister in his belly button, and his mate drinking out of it, and him screaming, "No. I've signed for fucking Carlton!" And like, my mate texts me going, "Yeah, guy's shit, mate." Absolutely ruined my day. Absolutely ruined my day.
Oh my
God. But yeah, ruined my day. Like, my mate was out on the beers, and as luck would have it, Cal Moore was celebrating signing Carlton.
Well, it's like when we signed Callan Coleman Jones. Like, it was the same thing. We were like, oh my God, this guy's answered all our prayers. He's going to be so good for us. The poor guy has had quite a few setbacks from injury, but like, can't get himself going.
Do you know what I mean? It's some debates going in chat. Sid Draper, mate. Sid Draper was so good last night for Adelaide. So good last night for Adelaide.
It's gonna be a start.
Am I upset?
But I think
Am I bitter? Maybe.
it's so hard because we're not going to get anything from, like, we're not going to know how good Jagger is until next year anyway. Now it's not even like we have anything to compare it to.
You know what though? Both very good players, and Jagger is a very good player as well. Very good player. Different types of players though. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
seeing
course,
Jagger, seeing Sid run riot in the fourth quarter, did I have a tear in my eye? Like looking at, like going through Facebook and looking at your ex's wedding pictures and going, just what might have been. Did you know what I mean? Did that happen? Maybe.
Oh, you're a crook, mate. But I think I reckon you could probably say most of this, like, most of the top end of this draft will come out, like, will come good. There's always a couple of doozies, but I think for the most part, stacked draft.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the only ones, you know, the one, and it's great from Ben with hindsight, the amount of people who have messaged me after Sid Draper's game and gone, should have got Sid Draper because Jagger's injured. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, you don't get like the next 6 months on a book before you draft him. It would be good if when you were signing the player, they said, oh, by the way, February, he does a ACL, but it is what it is. Have I lost Mans? Mans? Well, while Marnie internet catches up. Oh, she is. She's there.
Sorry. I had to hotspot. Internet's cooked.
Oh, I thought Marnie was just taking a call.
No, I'm here. Sorry. I'm back. Hope you didn't miss me.
Harvey Langford looks good.
He was so good against us.
Isn't it crazy because you saw him up close? Isn't he built like a 25-year-old?
Oh, so good.
Like, there's no way he's 18. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's scary though now. Like, these kids who are coming through are massive. Like, they're all just these, like, even like Luke Urquhart, who North drafted. Insane. Like, he's enormous. This kid's 18. He's huge.
Yeah, like some of them, don't they? Like Jason Horne-Francis, he was the same. Like, yeah, he was a rugged player. I mean, I used to say about Jason Horne-Francis that he was buying darts and beers at 13. Well, let's be honest.
Massive.
Harvey Langford, he looks like he's 25.
It's scary now. I don't know what they.
You know what? Finn O'Sullivan as well, even though he's got a baby face, you look at his physique, that's quite masculine as well.
Yeah, he is, but Urquhart's bigger.
Yeah, but you got to remember, like, this is a rare fact, and someone said it in chat. I don't believe in Vic bias at all, but there is Vic bias when it comes to the draft. And Luke Urquhart, if he was Victorian, would have been a top 30 pick because he's big, he's strong, but it's because he came from WA. Everyone's like, yeah, who cares?
No, I reckon he'll be great for us. I reckon he'll make his debut this year. I'd love to see him get a bit of a run around.
You did well. I mean, like, there's a few of them players like in the draft every year. Like, South Australia is another place, but you know, like Hugh Boxall as well, who's up at St Kilda, another guy that didn't get any love in the draft at all, but he's literally built like an absolute. I mean, he ragdolled Cripper in the preseason game, and the guy's 18 years old, like absolute behemoth of a man.
It's quite amazing, like just how, because I think footy as well now is it's such a professional business and it's a massive industry now. So the way players prepare and the way they develop, so different. It's quite remarkable.
No, I agree with you. I mean, it's a professional industry now. Like it's proper. Quality call from Matt. That's why I'm your go-to man for Tassie talent. If I was a draft guy, I would just spend all my time in Tasmania because, like, literally list managers don't even know where Tasmania is.
That's just because you love Tassie, though. It's got nothing to do with the talent.
It probably is. I mean, look, it rains all the time. It's cold. Like, I mean, there's probably a huge chance Pom defects to Tasmania when Tasmania ended the AFL. We just don't know what's around the corner. Do you know what I mean? But nah, we do like them there.
No, I do love Tassie. Hugh Greenwood, Tasmania's finest. There's Hugh's second shout out of the night. Colby McKercher.
Hey, yeah. McKercher, we were hot on in the draft. Lockie Cowan. These guys didn't get love. We love Seth Campbell as well now at Richmond getting a chance. Xavier Lindsay. There's one negative with Xavier Lindsay, Chris, that no one talks about. He's a Moorish medal winner. And as you will know from the famous quote on Blue Abroad, since I said, Terry, they don't just give out Moorish medal winners. They've all been shit since then, right? And Terry's right when he said, well, what about Nick Graham? But I think Xavier Lindsay is a cracking footballer, a real good footballer. He's got everything you need. And he's at the right club. Right club at Melbourne. Right club. Because they need that help. The second Greenwood at North after Levi.
No, Hugh's first. Sorry, laughing magpie. Hugh Greenwood's so good that actually retired the number one Guernsey after he retired at the end of last year. I just tell myself that. I just tell myself that.
We are talking to the super fan of it. No, Ben, you are right. There's McLuggage and stuff. We just Terry just took the piss because it was when we had Liam Stocker, and like I was saying, Terry, come on, mate. They don't just give them out. And then like Terry was like, well, what happened to Nick Graham? And since then, everything's gone downhill. But if you actually go back when I did the Lachlan Cowan draft profile, I deliberately refused to acknowledge he was a Moorish medal winner. Like, if you watch his draft profile, I'll list all of his achievements. I left that off. I was like, not doing it. Camel, what happened to Cam Ellis-Yeoman? That's a great point.
Did he go to Brisbane?
Yeah, but like he just like he had that really strong year, didn't he? Like that mid portion of the Adelaide year when he broke in the team.
I thought he got injured at Brisbane. And maybe just never recovered.
Yeah, it's a good one, that.
That could be wrong. Could play.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? He was just one that just disappeared.
Yeah.
Levi Greenwood. I can't believe we're talking about Levi Greenwood.
Levi Greenwood. I don't have a lot of respect for that man, if I'm completely honest with you. You want to talk about, like, you talk about Jason Horne-Francis or whatever. Levi Greenwood was in and out of our side for years, couldn't get his body right with injury. Just, like, was talented, but, like, just couldn't really string it together. Anyway, 2014. Manages to get his body right, breaks into the side, had an unbelievable year, finished third in our best and fairest, then pissed off to Collingwood like 2 weeks later. So there's about, you can guess how I feel about Levi Greenwood based on that little tale.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good conversation start. Like, player that broke your heart.
He didn't break my heart. I just think he's a dog.
Don't hold back, mans.
The player that broke my heart was Todd Goldstein, but it ended up being the best thing for us. In terms of players like leaving, probably Todd Goldstein.
Todd Goldstein. Yeah, I see what you mean, but like we would never get Tristan Zeri, would we?
No, well, exactly. Like hindsight is a wonderful thing, and I think having Goldie lingering over Sherry, he never would have been able to come into the player that he is now had Goldstein been there. He kind of just has that clear air. He can kind of make the ruck roll his own. He doesn't have the ghost of Goldie hanging over him. But still, I mean, it's one of our best ever players. It was hard. It was hard to watch. Drew Petrie. No, I was very happy for Drew because we delisted Drew, which was probably one of the worst moments the club's ever had. So for Drew to be able to go and extend his career, it was obviously hard to watch, but I definitely don't hold anything against him. Like, I think North people see Drew as a North person. Sean Higgins was another hard one when he requested a trade. I know we were his second club, but he definitely played his best footy at North. And then for him to go to Geelong, that was pretty hard as well. Don't begrudge him for it, but that was pretty hard to watch.
Have we had? I'm trying to think. You know, the only one I can think of, right? And this is a controversial one with Carlton fans. I don't get Ben Gibbs. I mean, but Gibbs. I don't get Gibbsy at all. You know, that the fact that everyone is like, oh, he's a Carlton legend. I don't get it. I don't get the Bryce Gibbs at all. Like, for me, I don't think Bryce Gibbs is a legend because he tried to leave the first time. We then managed to get him to stay, and then he left the second time, and Cripper needed him. And so that one always hurts because I feel like he could have stayed. Like, I feel like he should have stayed, and now he comes back to Carlton all the time as if he's a blue bagger.
What about Jared White?
You see, that was like pretty much before my time. I didn't really care.
Okay, fair.
Because the Gibbs one hurts. And it hurts more the way he acts now as well, like he's a Carlton legend, where I'm thinking, if you cared that much, Cripper needed you, Murph needed you.
Yeah. To his credit, though, he was very professional between the trade not going through the first time and the second time. He played very good footy in that period of time.
He was. No, he was. I'm with you. He was. But yeah, that one just left a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Good mate of mine. This is Marnie from Kangaroo TV. So,
hello.
Good mate of mine. So I expect you're on your best behaviour, which I know you won't be. So, but at least I've put it out there to the universe, which is good.
We're back, by the way, everyone.
We are. I've updated the scoreboard for you.
We're back.
And here we are against the wind. You know what? Jake Waterman strikes me as the kind of guy that gets pissed off reading the Uber Eats tracker. We've all got that mate, who orders a pizza and then gets angry. He's like, why is he going down Swan Street in this traffic?
He's played a very good game. He's actually, I shouldn't have spoken about Aiden Core at the start of this because he's given Aiden Core a bar. Unfortunately.
To be fair, he's a tough customer, is Jake Waterman. He's a guy that has come from nowhere as well. Like, I was actually speaking to a good mate of mine who works up in WA football, and he was telling me that Jake Waterman was actually thinking about knocking on it on the head 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was because he wasn't getting in the team, and he was on the threat of being delisted, and to think where he's come, suddenly an all-Australian, that's fair play to him.
Yeah, it's but it's often I look at that with Will Phil this year. Will Phillips has really struggled ever since he's been drafted. got glandular fever, and he struggled to kind of hold his spot. And like just seeing how he's come out, like this is his year. Like he was given a 1-year contract, and this is his year. If he can't, like he just looks like a man possessed. Like he looks like he will just not let anything in his way of cementing a spot in our side and making an impact.
Do you know what I mean? No, I agree with you. I think it makes you stronger. I think if it doesn't kill you and it doesn't make you want to quit. Yeah. You know, I'd love your opinions on this. Laughing Magpie, Ben, a good mate of the channel. Jaden Stevenson, he's probably someone who fits into the opposite of this category, that had opportunity but never seemed to embrace it, did he? And straight away he's gone back to play for Ferntree Gully, and it feels like it never really was a profession for him. He's from the outside looking in.
His first, speaking of Will Phil, a warrior.
A little bit of blood, a little bit of claret.
Had a great debut season, Steve-O. Played an unbelievable half of footy in 2018 grand final and just never really found it after that. It was a shame because he had some really nice moments for us as well. We played West Coast in 2021 in Perth on a Monday night. I was there. Perth had just come out of a mini lockdown. It was pouring rain. It was freezing cold, and North ended up winning that game. It was one of the best games I've ever been to. And Cunners, Ben Cunnington and Jaden Stevenson in that final quarter pretty much won us the game between the two of them. And he was just so good, and he was really talented. And then his last game for North was round 21 last year. We beat Richmond. Dog of a first half, just could not put a foot right. It was really, really bad. And then after halftime, basically came out and won us the game. And I think all of us were like, oh my God, he's back, and didn't play again, and then retired at the end of the year. It's hard, with North, we've had a few players. We've just had some, every club that isn't successful thinks, we've had some bad luck. But Jesus, North's had some bad luck in the last few years. Horn Francis requesting a trade after a year. Taron Thomas, don't even need to tell you twice about that. Even Will Phillips, got glandular fever after his first season. Steve-O. So, Wardlaw with his injuries now.
Sometimes happens, doesn't it?
Shit happens. It's got to be resilient enough to cover your losses. So,
a semi-free kick to give away as well by North here, having built a bit of pressure, but they win it straight back, and it's LDU. Look, smiles on his face. Still not too sure about the sun cream. Oh, Jack Darling's having a game. You know what, Ben? Adelaide is a place I haven't been. Do you know what I mean? I haven't been to, but
Adelaide. So good.
I like a bit of South Australia. I watch a lot of Sandful, Ben. So I do want to get down there.
Gather round, Corey?
Pardon?
Gather round?
Maybe.
You should go.
Well, I need to do that again. Maybe. Don't know what happened to my voice there.
That was a really nice build up from North. Again, just letting ourselves down in front of goal.
Ben, play nice. Come on, that. We could have had ODU, but we had Dow, and I'm okay with it.
Are you?
Have you ever done that? Be honest in chat and Mans. Have you ever gone through a draft and then seen your club's picks and seen the players 2 picks after you? And it's always shocking. It's the worst thing you can do.
All the time. All the time. We've had a couple of shockers.
There's nothing worse. You know what? I never forget as well. I remember that was one of the first drafts I was quite vocal of. And I was huge on Adam Chera, like huge on him. And it's crazy that Adam Chera is now in.
Back at the Blues.
That's why I like Chesney. He was like one of my first boys, was old Chesney.
He needs to have a big year, I think. He was really disappointing when he came back from injury last year.
Yeah, he's gone back to the short head, though. Like, Terry told me. Terry told me, and I think Terry's on to something here. When he started getting creative with his hairstyle, he was dog shit.
It's all in the hair, is it?
Yeah, well, you see, I'm the opposite, and most of the chat will agree with me. I'm a big fan of hairstyles. I think we need to see more creativity, but it does seem shave your head, you'll be a better footballer.
Yeah.
Oh!
No fuss.
Give him Brownlow loading.
He's been our best today. I'm like just unreal.
You know what? I'd love.
So classy.
You know what I want to see once in my life? A bit of Vic State of Origin. I want to see Sheasel and Dacos together.
Like an all-star lineup.
Because it's the only way you'll ever see it, because I don't think either will ever leave their club.
No.
Victoria, can you imagine Sheasel and Dacos? Imagine it.
Crazy. It'd be something special. But Harry, like, he's just so, like, just the ultimate professional. Like, his preparation is insane.
You know what? I remember covering it in the draft, and speaking to a lot of people who knew him. Like, the time he spent with, like, at his local club, like, what he did with, like, the under-9s, under-11s, like, staying behind after training and doing kick-to-kick. Like, you don't often hear that from star juniors.
Yep. He's just like, I remember, this is like a funny one. So I was down at the club doing some content for Besties. And the question I had that day was, what's your McDonald's order? It's like a bit of fun, right? It's nothing serious. He would not answer the question. He refused to answer it. And he never says no to me. Refused to answer. That's how serious he is. Paul Curtis being good today, getting himself in good positions, just can't finish. 5 goals, 11.
Honestly, Paul Curtis, what a player. Like, I keep telling no fans this, and it's been 3 years of me promising you, but you think Paul Curtis is good? Wait till you see Braden George. Like, honestly, that kid, if he ever gets his body right, he is something else. Like, honestly, it was like one of the first times. It's like the first time I heard the Beatles when I watched Braden George in the forward pocket. I had a tear in my eye. Thank you very much, Mrs. Bomb, talking about tears in my eye. Look at this. Got getting fed and watered here. Thank you. There. Oh, look at that. A little bit of a swing tackle from Caleb Daniel. We like it.
How's the chase from him?
You know what? That is quite deceptive as well, because Liam Ryan is faster than lightning.
That's really, but that's the pressure. That's what you get. Like, that's the difference. That's work rate.
You know, this is a great call by Ben. Ruben Gimby. You know, Ruben Gimby has this thing, right? Controversial call from watching a lot of junior football. But when you're big at 18, it's amazing how many of these big physical specimens, when they come up against real men, but their only one wood is being big. That's why Jason Horne-Francis fascinates me, because he was a bully in juniors and he's managed to change his game to fit against men. But you saw it when he was at North. He tried to bully players and they're like, I'm a man, you're a kid. Yeah. It takes a special player to wait 2 years to get your body. Because I remember Jason Horne-Francis when he tried to bully Cripps, and then he got bullied by Jack Silvani, and I always laugh because I'm like, Jack Silvani's the nicest player in the world. I was like, if he's ragdolling you, you need to sit down and shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, but no one liked him. Like, people still, oh, whoa.
I'll always say this about North. I never understood why you went for Jason Horne-Francis, because I remember covering that draft on this channel and I was like, it is heavily known he doesn't want to move to Victoria.
Well, he just was so vocal about wanting to come to North, and he was excited to be the number 1 pick and yada, 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 yada.
I mean, it worked out well because I actually think what you got back is better than having just Jason Horne-Francis.
Of course, but like,
I just think it was I just think it's a bad look for a culture.
But I also just think like the culture at North at the time was so toxic. Like, I don't like, he didn't get along with David Noble, and that's been publicized a lot. And that wouldn't have helped. And then he wasn't going to cooperate and like stick around to find out. Like, he was out. He mentally was checked out 4 rounds in, I reckon. Like, yeah, I feel really, and I don't mean, like, I don't want to sound like a hindsight thing, but I feel really sorry for North fans who genuinely thought he was going to stay. Because anyone could see, it was the same with Ben Mackay last year. Like, he was gone so early on. It was bleedingly obvious.
I think that's the best. You know what? I'll say this, because Ben's right. When we went through the Jason Horne-Francis deal, I was like, it's so much better if you actually look at it. It's so much better. The players you're going to get in. Wardlaw's a better fit, I think, for what you need. Like, you wouldn't have built the superstar squad that you did had you.
No, I agree with you. And I also think that Harry Sheezel, player, like, obviously a talented player, but as a person and as a leader for a club that hasn't had a lot of strong leadership for a while, I think is just worth its weight in gold as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame though, because I think Jason Horne-Francis, I admire, even though I take the piss out of Jason Horne-Francis, I'm incredibly proud of him, how he's gone over back to Port, obviously got good people around him, and he's sorted his attitude out, and he's an absolute genuine talent now. Like, when he was at North, I was very worried about Jason Horne-Francis, because I was like, he's not acquitting himself and he's wasting his talent, but he's done incredibly well to turn it around.
And like, to be fair, right, I know football, like, it's not a normal job, right? But I moved to Sydney when I was 24 for work, and I lasted 5 months and came back home because I just couldn't hack it. And a big part of it, I struggled living away from home. But then being back in Melbourne with my family and friends, that's definitely where I thrive. Like, I don't think that I would be nearly as successful in anything I do if it wasn't for having such a strong support system close to me at home.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
It's good to hear that from Mans, because I'm the worst. Like, I moved home at 16. So I'm kind of harsh as Tom Powell kicks the goal. I'm quite harsh because I'm like, it's a chance to live your dream. Like, 16-year-old Pom, if you told me I was moving to Australia to play football, I'd be like, see ya, peace. But I suppose you also do forget there is another. So it's good, man, he said that, because you just hear it from Uncle Pom.
No, like, it's part, like, you would have to know if you're a good footballer and you are likely to go in the first round or in the first at least 3 or 4 draft picks. Like, you know what you're getting yourself into. Like, you know you're probably going to go to a bad club, and you know that you are probably going to have to slog it out, and you're just going to have to make of it what it is. And a lot of people know that part and parcel with the AFL is moving and is relocating, and that's part of the gig. But I don't I can relate to him in that, and with any of these guys that say they want to go home, I so get it. Aidan Core moved back to Melbourne. He's a Victorian, went to the Giants, loved his time with the Giants. It was like a family, but said he wanted to move back to Melbourne to be close to family, to start a family of his own. And that's a guy, he moved back to Melbourne in his, mid to late 20s. So it's the same thing,
I can appreciate it. As a dad, I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
I can appreciate it. You know what I mean? I'll still bully the players, though, when they say they want to trade home.
No.
To be fair, it's always the Victorians. Like, Jason Horne-Francis is the exception to the rule. It is genuinely, for some reason, it's Victorians that want to come back to Victoria. It's a bizarre thing.
Well, Victoria is the best state in
ooh, man, he started
it. Sorry, everyone who is outside of Vic, but I've left twice and moved home twice, so there you go.
You know what, Stu? I am enjoying Studi's work here. Pick 68 Carlton picked in Patrick Kerr, 69 was Link Ryan. Told you, I know you're a Richmond fan, but never go in the past. Never go. Honestly, because you won't last 5 minutes. I go through it and I feel vomit town. Vomit town at some of our picks.
Guys, give me 2 secs. I need some light in here.
Here we are. Look, Cardman asked a great question. Cardman, I don't know. Mans has already said it. This isn't bottom 4. This is flag.
We're winning the flag. Where have you been for the last 2 hours?
Flaggaroos.
This is Flaggaroo season, baby.
Matt Lang, would you rather get drafted to a top-rated club and not play a game, lower-rated club and play each week? I'm play each week.
Yeah. No one wants to sit on the sidelines, I wouldn't have thought.
This might be the arrogance in me, and this is a question for people in chat, but would you want to play for a Big Four club, or if you were say a Finn Callaghan, St Kilda, North, if you were any good, wouldn't there be an element of ego that you'd be I can change this club round?
No one's changing mid-ball at RSCA. Sorry, Cardi.
I'd have a bit of arrogance in me. Do you know what I mean? A bit of arrogance that, if North Melbourne rang me up, I'd be I can do it. I'm that good. I can make these a fucking flag side.
Well, that's one of the things that Luke Parker said. He said that he said that was one of the things that appealed to him about coming to North, is a new challenge.
Can I just say that just quietly, and I'm glad you've appreciated that, Cardman. That was just quietly the best work a guest has had on this chat.
Sorry.
Honestly, just mentally, I was like this.
It's also just I'm a North fan, so I probably shouldn't be so lippy, but there's 2 clubs I can pull something like that out of, and St Kilda's one of them. So
nah, screw it, man. Give it to them. Give it to them. There's nothing better when it comes back tenfold. You know what? I agree with Ben here. Sorry, Ben, I've lost your comment. Jack Darling, yeah. I'm not surprised either, but how good is it?
What did I say? My guy. I'm never going to let you guys down, I promise.
Do you know who North should go hard at? The missing jigsaw piece.
To bring Hugh Greenwood out of retirement? Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, you could do. Harley Reid. Yeah.
Harley? I don't think Harley will leave West Coast.
I don't think he will, actually. I think he's a one-club player. You know what I always say, though? And I always say this. I think if I was say, a Finn Callaghan or someone like that, if I win a flag at GWS, I'm going to be one of the first to win it. But if you get North Melbourne a flag as the guy that comes in later, you're going to be like a legend, aren't you? You'll be remembered forever.
Yeah, for sure.
Surely that's a selling point.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah, Jess knows.
Yes.
Just for everyone, it's Hugh Greenwood's birthday on Thursday, so make sure you wish him a happy birthday.
Man, he's married to the game, slobber. Married to the game. As the Eagles have a rare inside 50 and kick a goal, Tom Powell, what are your thoughts on Tom Powell?
Breakout year coming for sure.
Oh, no.
He's here she goes again. No, read the Herald Sun today. It was in the Herald Sun. No, I think he'll have a big year. He had a good year last year. So he came across in the 2020 draft with Will Phillips and Charlie Lazaro, Eddie Ford, like that same draft. And I always thought that Tom Powell was probably like it was really hard to tell because you kind of thought one of them would always make it in our side, maybe two. And I didn't know who it would be, to be honest. And Tom Powell is the guy. He's the one that's kind of come. Charlie Lazaro's been moved on. Will Phillips is having a shot this year. Eddie Ford's also got a 1-year contract, but Tom Powell last season just broke into the side and was undroppable, stacked on a bunch of size, and you'd think that he's only going to get better. He's so versatile. He's one of the most versatile players in our side. He's huge, can go in, has a massive kick on him, is really good in defense as well. He's got that defensive mindset. He's a really good two-way runner. So, yeah, and he's not bad in front of goal either. So I think breakout year for him for sure, and he'd be one I'd be watching closely. I had him as my surprise All-Australian for 2025. If there's going to be and obviously I think that Sherry and Shees will be on everyone's radar this year, but Tom Powell's a good one.
He's been very lively this game as well, hasn't he? Like, we've seen quite a bit of him. He kicked that goal earlier, and he's been quite active around the ground, hasn't he?
Yeah, I really liked Luke McDonald's game as well. I did say at the top of this that I think one of he or Darcy Tucker, I wouldn't be having both in round one, and I think a lot of people expect Luke McDonald, now that he's no longer co-captain. You're very welcome. Now that he's no longer co-captain, to be making way, but he's been very impressive tonight.
You know who I've really enjoyed this game from your team as well, just quietly, and I'm a big fan of him, and it's taken him ages, I think, to actually consistently perform, but Bailey Scott. I really like Bailey Scott, and I think he's been a real good link for you today.
Had a great season in 2023, finished third in the best and fairest. And then last year played, he's a pure winger, and he's a pure winger and was playing a lot of game in the defense, and it just didn't work. Like, you've just got to keep him on the wing. I actually wonder, and I reckon he's actually done okay today. Dylan Stevens is playing today. He was initially brought in to complement Scott on the other wing. Hasn't had heaps of the ball today, but I'm not that hot on him, to be honest. And I definitely lean towards not playing him than playing him, but maybe he's taken a bit of pressure off Bailey Scott in this game, it seems.
Well, do you know who Bailey Scott I think needs to go away and watch? Zach Bailey from Brisbane. Because he seems to get in all them right positions. Just feel like he's nearly there. I've really noticed a bit of Scott today.
Zach Bailey, in my mind, is a lot more dynamic and exciting than Bailey Scott. I don't mean that to disrespect Bailey Scott. We're talking about the role players versus the superstars. Just don't know if Bailey Scott's got. He doesn't have he's a no frills kind of player. Someone like Eddie Ford could really evolve his game into a Zach Bailey sort of game.
Ben asking, you know what? It's an interesting one, this, because Lance Collard has just disappeared off the face of the earth, hasn't he? I agree with you. I'm not too sure what's happening there. I don't know if he's got some. Did he have? I'm pretty sure. Didn't he have like a pre-season ban for something? Didn't he say something homophobic in a VFL game last year?
I can't contribute to this conversation.
No, someone check that. I'm sure there was a ban starting the year, and I don't know if that ban involves practice.
Ben, get on the Google for us. Let us know. Can I say one thing about the practice game today at RSCA Park?
Go on.
Despite the fact that it was a horrific display, high vibes, such high vibes. Sun was shining. The place was packed. I haven't seen it that packed for ages. Great turnout, a lot of fun. I think I spent more time at the game just like mingling with people than actually watching it because there wasn't really much of a spectacle on the field, but high vibes. So there's kudos to St Kilda.
To be fair, the St Kilda fans are pretty good. I've just checked here. By the looks of it, I do think he's still banned. Because the ban came through in August. Season ends in September. I'm pretty sure. But that's one I don't know, because Dan Houston's banned for games, isn't he? But he's allowed to play in the practice game. So I don't know if that's like a universal. Do you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure if it's a universal ban.
I will say one thing about West Coast. I know it's just North. We are winning the flag, though, so maybe take what I say with credit. They don't look like they miss Barris at all. Like, I think McGovern's been very, very good. And Tom Cole's played a really good game as well. They don't really look like they're missing him much at all.
I agree. It's an interesting one, though, because I feel like watching Eagles, North, St Kilda, if we like, I think we can all agree Richmond are the wooden spooners, because even Richmond fans are saying they're 18th. But then if you look 17th, 16th, 15th, you would say on 2 games, West Coast and North would probably fancy against St Kilda, wouldn't they? That's got to be high.
Yeah, mid-ball. Can't compete with North ball.
No, I agree with you, Ben. I think Lance Collard will be a terrific player. Will be a real good player. I mean, I hope he gets... If that ban does go to practice games, I do think that's incredibly harsh when players are playing practice games right now and they nearly killed someone last year in game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy that the practice games are being included. And Paul Curtis kicks the snag 56-44.
His game's been really good. His positioning is really, really good. Like, he's getting himself... No. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That only comes out, like, in the moment. Sorry.
Only because she only did it on special occasion.
No.
I agree with Superbirds here. I think North have got some really exciting players.
Finn O'Sullivan's third quarter has been excellent as well. He's really grown.
He's been really lively.
I think as the game has gone on, he's built in confidence for sure.
You know what? I was mean to him at the start of the show, but can I just say what I'm enjoying is like Cam Zerha, his defensive pressure. He's not being lazy. Like my issue with Cam Zerha is he doesn't do anything and he acts like he's a really good footballer. Even though he's got 1 goal, he's been really the big part of your forward pressure today. He's been throwing his body around.
Well, this is the thing, and this is the thing with Jack Darling, and honestly, guys, take a shot every time I mention Jack Darling. You'd be dead from alcohol poisoning at this point. But the way the forward line now can function just by having one person there to alleviate some pressure off the rest. Like, people have to remember as well, Cam Zurhaar was forced to play this like second tall because we didn't have a second genuine like tall forward, and we tried heaps of players in that. And it's so bad because I really thought Bryn Teakle was going to have an opportunity this year to step into that role. I thought he was really solid. He made his debut against Collingwood and then played every game for the rest of the year. But obviously the caliber of talent, albeit Darling's towards the end of his career, you don't like, he still has that, he still has the footy smarts and he's still got the physical frame, right? So just the pressure it alleviates, because last year Paul Curtis was a really strong defensive option in the forward line. But in this game, he's definitely been the one that's been more lively and he's been the one presenting. And it's Zurhaar who's been the more of that defensive lockdown sort of role. So it's fascinating just how completely different we look compared to what we looked like 12 months ago. And it's
I can definitely see there's a little bit more fight, a little bit more desire, which was my big question mark on you last year. Like you guys look up for the task.
And we look a lot more unpredictable going forward because now we have a lot more options. Our issue remains that we just can't execute and we're going into the forward 50. But sometimes it's going to Larky, sometimes it's going to Darling, sometimes it's going to Paul Curtis, sometimes it's going to Bull. Like, there's options. Have to say, Constanti and Hansen Jr. haven't done it for me tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it would.
They've broken Constanti. Sydney have broken Constanti.
It's really interesting. Deebs, who's one half of True Bloods, who was here not long ago, I don't know if he's still watching or not, but we had a conversation about Constanti, and he said that it's very, and we had this conversation about Dylan Stephens as well. He said that it's very rare for players to come to Sydney and then go to a high prize recruit. Like, Dylan Stephens was a top 5 pick. Constanti was a round 1 draft pick, I think, as well. It's very rare for players to leave Sydney and genuinely flourish elsewhere. I'm not talking about Luke Parker because he was an already, an established player, but it's really rare for like a player that didn't make it at Sydney to go on and make it somewhere else. Usually if the Swans don't fit them in their 23, then they just don't make it. And so he made that comment about Constanti, and that's why I've maybe had that in the back of my mind. He was good last week, but hasn't really done much tonight. I don't think, unless someone in the chat's seeing something that I haven't, hasn't really done it so much for me tonight.
He's an interesting one. We've got a couple of questions. I have not watched WWE since it was called WWF. Couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, mate. Did Cam Zurhaar date Hannah Orville? I have no idea who that is.
He did, yes.
This is why we have Mans here. You see, look, the holes I have, she fills there. Like, I have no idea who that is. Is she famous?
Yeah, she's an influencer. Do you know Angry Dad? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. That guy who prank him all the time.
Yeah, it's his daughter.
Who knew?
There you go. Fun fact chat for the night.
That's what I was going to ask you, Mans, because I know you get down to the VFL. Did you get down to Carlton versus North VFL, the practice game?
I did not, sadly.
Because I was wondering, is Luke Urquhart been performing for your VFL?
I think we've spoken to him before. I think he will debut at some point this year. I think the midfield mix that we've got at the moment, I'd be opting to give someone like Will Phillips and Luke Parker a run before I'd be giving Luke Urquhart a run, just because I think they're the guys that are probably, and there's no disrespect to Luke Urquhart, but they've definitely, of the guys who are new in the frame, they'd be the ones that I would be opting to give a game to. But I would expect to see him at some point in the side. He's been playing well by all reports, though.
Yeah, I've just tried to have a quick look for any VFL reports, but unfortunately, Carlton never do a VFL practice match report, and evidently North don't as well. So, well done, Carlton and North, keeping us in the loop. Cheers, boys.
Us as the spokespeople as well for both those clubs, we probably should have been a bit more prepared for that.
Can I just say, you know what annoys me is when Carlton do like a VFL rap, because we do the VFL raps here, which incidentally, just so everyone knows, you asked me the other day and I didn't see the comment until I went through chat logs. But yes, we will be doing this year, we'll be choosing a game to do a watch along with, and you'll get a full preview and review like Carlton. But that also includes your VFL team. Someone asked that, so yes, Pom will be watching your VFL team as well. Like, look at that.
This is the place to be.
Can't say fairer than that.
Man of the people, YouTube's finest, Pommy and Oz.
Do you know what I mean? Having to watch your children that I don't care about and tell you how they're doing. That's what I'm going to have to do. But no, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's interesting because when Carlton do, we're one of the few clubs that do this. If you ever go and watch Carlton's highlights from the VFL, all they do is show you the goals we kick. And then they give you a report that happens to mirror it up with what they've said. So they'll be like, oh, Harry Lemmy dominated. And it's like literally one goal. And then literally nothing else. And if you watch the full game, he's been absolutely shocking. But Carlton have made out like you've got Tony Lockett 2.0. Absolutely brilliant.
What you don't know won't kill you, I suppose.
Yeah, honestly, the amount of people that watch my VFL report and say, club said this player was good. And I'm like, yeah, they gave you his only goal. The only thing he did.
PR spin, mate. What can I tell you? I worked in the industry for
spot on, Ben.
years.
I love me interstate boys. I do love me interstate boys. But we are about to begin the fourth quarter. I've got to say, I have noticed this as well. All game, Tommy Powell has been going head-to-head with old Harley Reid. And Harley Reid has been on the ground, believe it or not, nearly all the game.
Hasn't done much. Tristan Cherry
only had 10 touches. Like, Tom Powell tagged danger season here. I've just realised who the umpire is. It's that umpire that did the first practice game that I was laughing at because his bounces went at 0% efficiency. Absolutely. Honestly, he bounced the ball and literally everyone was called back. And I was like, it's an absolute disgrace. This guy needs banning.
That's embarrassing.
Ooh, Ben asks, if you could pick any player to come to North that isn't an A grader, who would you want?
Oh, that isn't an A grader. I have to think about that.
And why is it Jesse Motlop?
Jesse Motlop's an A grader. Jesse Motlop actually is the kind of player that we need, to be fair. I love that man so much.
Dependent on what Carlton do, there might be people in the chat who actually would like to have him for a second.
Jesse Motlop is actually really the kind of player that we need, or someone like a Jesse Motlop, maybe a bit more consistent though. He's just, we need that lively small forward, which we don't have. It's been a hole in our side, for many, many years. I'd love Hugh Greenwood to come back to North Ben.
I just say, Ben, that's a good call. I should have led with that. Why is it Hugh Greenwood? I should have done.
Do you know, Hugh's playing for the Suns VFL team this year, so I actually get to see him play footy, which would be nice. Can't wait. I'll be going to the VFL this year just to watch Hugh.
Can I just say, if you don't get tonight, after you've watched this, go and watch Marnie's interview with Hugh Greenwood. It is actually really good.
He's one of the most fascinating people. And it's really nice. Like, I don't know, everyone like laughs, but like, I don't know how many people can sit here and say that like whoa, that's not called for. Like how many people can honestly sit here and say my favorite footballer has turned into one of my closest friends? That's like, I speak to Hugh Greenwood probably once a week, once a fortnight, which is really nice. It's a very rare thing. It doesn't really happen. So I'm very fortunate. That's why I love him so much. Okay, I'm going to stop because I think people will be leaving the more I talk about this.
No, we love it. We love it, Mars. It's good. But no, I agree with you. He's nice. Like Marnie and Hugh Greenwood, super fan. Like super fan as well. Like,
yeah.
I always like it when someone likes a player that probably doesn't get the love other people do. But
he's the best. Do you know who I really do rate? And I will probably now just get laughed at because I've just called St Kilda mid for the last hour. Darcy Wilson. I don't know if he's an A grader yet. He will be. He's young. Great player. Great footballer. Really, really great footballer.
he's got a chance to leave mid-ball and come to North Ball. Big upgrade.
Your wildest dreams, wouldn't it be?
I am going to steal. I'm going to steal mid-ball. I'm stealing that.
You can steal that. I don't mind.
I'm gonna drop that. That's brilliant. Kane Corn says Harley Reid isn't professional enough. I genuinely think I agree with Ben here. I think Kane Corns is desperately searching for a headline. Like Harley Reid's like the last person to leave the track.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at this game and worrying about Harley Reid. I'm pretty sure Harley Reid will dominate round one.
I do think that there is a big glaze over Harley Reid, though. I'm not saying that like to be salty because he didn't come to North or whatever, but like I think there are players. Like if you look at like most of the best players were rubbed out of the Rising Star race last year, right? Like there was no Harley. There was no Darcy. Colton McKerchel got injured. But I reckon Sam Darcy, if everyone was available to win the award last year, Sam Darcy should have won it.
Big call, and I like the call.
Like, freak. Honestly, freak. What he does at his age, going to be like, he will be a genuine, like the word superstar is thrown around way too often.
It's all right. You can say superstar. The one that does my head in is the G word, generational talent. Because by definition, that means you only ever see it once in a generation. And currently we have 82 generational talents floating around.
I just thought, okay, can I actually sorry to come back to this question. It isn't an A grader who I would take. Darcy Wilson, yes. But now that I've had more time to think, Josh Tracy from Fremantle.
Ooh,
that's my guy.
This is a call.
Can play.
This is a call.
Don't you reckon?
No, I like it. I think it's a great call.
Yeah, he's the one. He's the one I'd be to play alongside Larky. That'd be something.
Someone asked about Nick Larkey. I think Nick Larkey has been all right this game.
He's been great. Nick Larkey pushes up. He pushes up the ground a lot.
No, I agree, and I think he's had some loose kicks at goal, but he's been very, very, very lively.
Yeah.
There we are. Look, someone's done some draft history for you.
Oh, Peter, way to break my heart, buddy.
Do you know what I mean? He's North. He's not. He supports North. He's one of you.
One of us. What a great guy.
I'll tell you what, Nick Larkin, we were just talking about him. Great work there. Loses the marking contest against 3 and then beats them. Good work.
But that's the thing, though. I think that's one thing we need to expect from Nick Larkin this year is that maybe he's not going to be everything. And, the reason, and he's a fantastic player. It's not like I obviously love him to death, but he does have the ability to put, his work rate's really good. So he does have the ability to push higher up the ground if needed. But again, Darling coming in, it diversifies our forward line. It doesn't make us so predictable coming in because we've got better matchups for the other players now. So, yeah, obviously we'll go to Larky and he'll have an impact. Like in that intra-club game, he kicked 3, but then Zerha kicked 5 and Darling kicked 1. So, he doesn't need to be front and center every single week.
I agree. I think your forward line helps Larky out now as well, because I think there's a lot of pressure. Like Ben's talking about Harley Reid on the papers all the time. I think Larky's had a lot of pressure at North. Like for 5 years, everyone's expected him to kick 90 goals.
Yeah.
He's now got someone to spread the load with him.
Yeah, it's great. It's exactly what we need.
Ooh. Tell you what, Mans, you know what? We might. This could be North Ball.
Oh, LDUs.
Tell you.
Unbelievable. That is an unbelievable goal.
Tell you what, we're looking here, Mans, at flag roos.
How is
People don't realise it.
How is Caleb Daniel, though, the run-off half-back? And that's the thing. He just keeps running. It's the work rate. His work rate is elite.
Honestly, we're looking at flag roos. People are underestimating this.
If anyone sees me at Marvel Stadium at any point this year, you did not see me. Lid will be off.
Flag roos. Flag roos.
Flag roos. I'm just the most unhinged.
Yeah, but that's the best part of your personality, Marnie, that you can be 17-1, suddenly go 17-2, and you're trying to work out how to get into the 8.
Literally.
That's my favourite part of your personality. Don't change it. Mitchell comes home to find out couldn't kick more. Yeah, Mitchell, I'd probably give that one a miss, mate. I'm a big fan of yourself, but I'd probably give the Saints game just a wide berth, put home and away on or something.
Is Mitchell a mid-ball supporter?
He's a massive Saints fan, yeah. Mid-ball.
My heart goes out to you, Mitch. It wasn't pretty. I did see Travis Boak up close and personal. That was worth the trip.
Mid-ball. And does his first bit of football today. There's the behind. But everyone who is his super fan tells me that it's going to cost Carlton a flag. So there we are.
I really wanted. He was linked to North at one point in the trade period. I was so hot on him coming to North, but I think he's the kind of player that needs to play in a good side to play well. I don't know if he's actually that good. Sorry, is that?
Oh no, 100%. I'm with you. Do you know what I mean? The amount of people who have told me though that Matt Owies is Eddie Betts reincarnated, and the only club in the AFL that put an offer in for him was second bottom. Yeah, cool.
Do you know I think's going to have a big year? Carlton fans.
Oh, go on.
Razzle dazzle.
Oh, a bit of Raz. He did look very tasty last night. He did look very tasty.
Because I was thinking about, you think about Owies leaving, right? Because I obviously watched a lot of Carlton last year, and Jesse Motlop, I mean, obviously inconsistent, but I think we know what we can do at his best. Orazio's ceiling is higher than Owies' ceiling. So it's just about getting that out of him.
Oh, I'll say this. I think I've been quite adamant. I don't think you'll see Owies kick 20 goals in an AFL season ever again. But I do think Motlop has the ability to kick 40. I do think Durden can kick 25 goals.
Fog.
I do think Carlton needed dynamicness. And
Mm.
by playing always there, I just don't think you'd ever see it from them. And now they've got. And I agree with you with Raz. Ben nails it here. Raz gets a lot of hate. And this happens at Carlton. If you're not born in Carlton by drafted, the Carlton fans turn on you. They did it with Plowman because we didn't draft him. We brought him in. But then people like Williamson got away with being shit because we drafted him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that Raz doesn't get the love because we traded him in. We brought him in. If we drafted him in, everyone would be like, oh, I knew Raz would be good. As Jake Waterman kicks another goal, he's been pretty good.
He's been really good. I was actually going to say, I think before he kicked that goal, I was going to say, I think our tools have actually really stood up in this second half. I think they've tightened up.
You should never think that in a watch-along, Mans. Never compliment a line.
Well, I didn't vocalize it. I just thought it. And
Mans, that's what happens even if you think it. The AFL gods know. Just your mind has got to be water.
Not thinking anything. No, I think with Raz, though, like, I remember when the Blues played Richmond at the MCG and he had this absolute dog first quarter and he made some terrible mistakes and Carlton fans were like, oh, shit, no good, no good. Second quarter went by. It was okay, like working as well way into the game that had that explosive 15 minutes to open the third quarter and he kicked 4. And I was like, this guy's good, man. Like, you just got to let him play. Half the time with these small forwards and these like explosive creative players, you just kind of got to give them license to play. Like, that's the beauty of it, is it's natural talent, it's raw talent. You just got to let them do their thing. So maybe that's the key there, is just let them play. Just see what happens.
I couldn't agree more. And you know what I thought that was huge is how fit he looks. Like, he looks incredibly fit as well. Like, you can see he's put the effort in. Because I thought he looked better now than he did when he was 21 and he was kicking 40 goals a year.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good.
The Raz. You've heard it here first. Marnie's on the Raz train. Get on the Raz train.
Razzle Daz.
We do. To be fair, the watch along, we do like a bit of Raz. We're fans. We're fans of Raz.
Raz fans.
Oh, tell you what, North's pressure for a practice game has been very, very good.
I've got to say, with the exception of that, like, first 10 minutes of the second quarter, we've controlled majority of the game.
Yeah, I think the big takeout, win or lose, will be that first quarter, because 8 goals, 14, you could have put this game to bed. That's probably the big life lesson for North in this. When we do have it, we need to execute.
It's the difference between being a good side and a great side. And on football, I don't even know if we're a good side yet, but we'll get there. Being able to just make the most of your opportunities, I think, which we haven't really done tonight. It's a very close game. I've been surprisingly calm.
This would be a good game if it was 4 points.
Yeah.
Archer Reed, I'm not too sure what he did with that kick, but that might be up there with some of the worst kicks I've ever seen. And to see him laugh about it, you know what I'm like, chat. I don't like to see it.
It's just a practice game.
Tell you what, I really want North to win this.
Yeah, same. We win this winning a flag.
Obviously not.
Yeah, but if we don't win the game, I'm not going to feel the same way I felt when we lost last week, because you can actually see what we're trying to do here. Like, it actually looks like we've got a bit of an identity, a bit of a blueprint. You know, the win would be nice.
For the last 7 minutes of a practice game, the intensity around the ball is actually up there with AFL in season. Both sides want this. You can see both sides want this.
Yeah, it's a morale booster. I think we need
That could
it.
be 50. Oh, that's... Oh, seeing them giving in season, that old push in the back when you've taken a mark.
It's what you want, though. Like, as a North fan, I don't know if there's any, like, Eagles fans here, but, like, you just want to see something, you know? And it's I did a review of the game, of our D's game, and the comments were split. Half of them are pissed off that we lost, and half of them are like, who cares? It's a practice game. But I don't know, a club that you've been deprived of winning and success for so long, and then on the back of all this hype, because there's been a lot of hype around North for the last couple of months, like to come out and dish that up.
Yeah,
This is
it's
better response this week.
You know what? That would have been my fault if Harley Reid had kicked that as well. I would have owned it for asking where he's been. But I will say, I hate that whole "it's just a practice game" mentality, because, like, you don't. If you practice stuff in your life to be mediocre, you're going to be mediocre. Like, you've got to be looking at the execution. So, like,
100%.
I prefer it when people are upset about a practice game, because you're meant to be fucking learning.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. And it's our last
me as well. You know the other one that's getting me as well? Injuries in pre-season and people having a cry about, oh, why do we have practice games? Soccer clubs have 20 practice games on average. NBA clubs have 8. And then NBA clubs play 4 times, 5 times a week. I don't think that's got anything to do with injuries.
I agree.
No. In fairness to Jaden Hunt, that was the first time I'd ever seen him today, so fair play to him. 1 point ball game.
We actually have been
pressure here.
Yeah, and I think I was about to say our resilience, because the ball has been just going repeatedly into the West Coast for attacking 50, and our resilience for the most part has been really, really good. And I think we've really weathered the storm there. But I mean, how long can you weather the storm for?
It's all right, Mans. 5 minutes 50 to go, Matt. This is a centre clearance straight into the chest of Larky. Lead got back. Don't worry, Mans. Don't worry. Rue ball still goes.
North ball.
North ball, sorry.
Rue ball.
I think Rue ball sounds better, just quietly.
Do you?
You know what? Fair play to Harley Reid. Like, I'd be a lot more arrogant if I had his looks, to be fair. He seems quite a humble guy.
He seems great, don't you reckon?
I think he needs a bit more arrogance, a bit more tit about him. If I was his coach, I would add an element of arrogance to him. Finn O'Sullivan. Oh, that top 3 pick, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind. Wouldn't mind a bit of Sue.
Okay. I'm a solid 10 seconds behind you. I need to try and catch up.
Yeah, just refresh it. It should work.
Yeah.
Look, I'm guessing it's Deebs. He's trying to steal Savlaki off you. The umpires paid the mark, and Larky. I told you it would happen, chat. I told you it was safe. It's written in the stars. Savlaki wins the game. Came back to the future for this.
I think Dave just talked that into reality.
Literally 20 seconds before Deebs, I said, Centre clearance, Suv. It's all right. He's hit behind, mate. That's disgusting. Savlaki, sort yourself out.
Let's see if I can get back in. Okay, I think I'm up to date. I hope I'm up to speed now.
I've got Liam Ryan dancing through everyone getting caught. Handball.
I'm with you.
I've got a disgusting handball chain going. I've got Diwa. Oh no! And then I've got Archer Reed, who looks like an extra off How I Met Your Mum. Daniel, that's a good point. One team in nearly every practice game has like gone at like 90% kicking efficiency inside 50. Crazy how it's happened. Well, based on his last one, Archer Reed has about as much chance of kicking this as I do getting a DM from Taylor Swift. So, and it's straight to form. True to form. 63 all.
Jeez.
What a game, mans.
Great game. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us.
Of all the games, we've had blowouts, and we've got you, and we've got the game of the practice round.
Well, I do what I can.
Hey, Baz. And Liam Ryan misses from front. 64, 63, coast to coast.
Going up now.
Here it is. This is a coast to coast goal, this. I enjoy that by Archer Reed as well. If I'd kicked them 2 shots at goal like he's had and completely bowls them up, I'd pretend to have cramp as well. So I rate that. I rate that for him. Oh, Mitchell, my boy, joining the tap. Joining the club. Thank you very much, mate. We love your support. And here's Liam Baker. He's had 17 touches, but have they been 17 touches we've noticed?
He's been pretty quiet.
This is another guy that I reckon has stolen a point.
That has just killed me.
That's world class, to be fair.
That's an unbelievable goal.
Liam Baker still looks like he's nicked a bike, though. Guaranteed. Guaranteed he's stolen a bike as a kid.
Probably. And that's just like come off a really clumsy free kick as well.
Come off a clumsy free kick. Yeah. And
shit, yeah.
It's all right. Still time, man. It's 2:53. Centre clearance. Believe in North Ball.
Win the ball out of the middle. Get it to Darling.
North Ball. North Ball. Tell you what, though. Terrific game. Like,
it's been very entertaining. I've enjoyed it.
Both sides have seesawed momentum.
Yeah. It's it's been great. It has been really good. Like I said, I think you can't, as a North fan, like, you want the win, and it's pretty disappointing considering like we've had a lot more scoring shots as well. If we can't get the job done, but it's still very impressive, like encouraging signs. Oh, here we go. Come on, Harry. Go. Okay. Hayden Core. What a guy.
Tell you what, though,
Will Bergman must have just been subbed into the game not long ago.
You know what was really nice there, though? Just how Sheasel just got himself a bit of time.
Yeah. Consummate professional.
Oh, PC. No messing about. Here we are, North goal. I'm not too sure. Like, the umpire there's got a lot of protection. He's got Under Armour on. He's got a hat. Like, come on, bro. It's not even that sunny.
Miller Bergman, defender, defensive work, good, skill, unsure. It's like we've got like the same kinds of players. Go. Oh my God. Oh, Griffin. Go.
Tell you what, North, can they do it?
Oh, bull. Oh, what? Whoa. Do you know who that was? Aiden Core. And now JD. All
Tell
my
you what,
guys
tell you
combining here.
what,
Come on, Jack.
Marnie's team. You know what? Wouldn't it be fitting if Jack Darling brought you back into this game?
There he is. That's my
Here we
guy.
are.
That is my guy.
What a game this has been.
Here we go.
You know what? This is a shame. This is literally a pre-season game, isn't it?
Aiden Core's playing forward. I don't know if anyone just saw that passage of play, but I thought it was Cam Zerha who came over the top and of the pack, but that was Aiden Core.
You know what it is? What they've done is they've just
They
put
know
Aiden
I'm
Core on.
watching. They know I'm
Aiden
watching.
Core
They know that everyone's watching me watch, and they're like, let's just give him something.
See, look, wooden spoon data, Rue Ball, so much better.
North Ball.
Yeah, I think Rue Ball sounds better. Okay. But here we are, 70-69.
Oh my god. No.
I am enjoying the fact Marnie's like, we're not going to get into this. It's just a practice game.
Go. No. Go, Griff. Go, Griffin. Okay, here we go.
You know what? That was excellent work as well by Griffin Log.
That's a great
he was outnumbered, outgunned, did well.
I've been completely I've got when you got multiple personality, that's me right now. I'm so
I did enjoy, it's just a practice game. Don't worry about it.
I'm such a hypocrite.
And Marnie's now like, this is 4 points and
this is my lively, this is my mood for the next 2 weeks. Far out. I don't know.
And it's behind, but 15 seconds coast to coast.
Go.
This is what we live for.
Bomb it. Don't. I got no time to do this.
Well, North Melbourne suffer the narrowest of defeats, but I will say, I haven't done my review yet because I'm here, but I'll say a lot of positives for North and the Eagles in that game, especially your improved ball use and work around the contest.
Yeah, look, I reckon it's shit to lose because we absolutely, besides that 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of the second quarter, we dominated that game. I'm happy to say that. Our first quarter was scintillating football. That's tough, though, because we should have won.
I mean, there is a positive. Mitchell sees it. You managed to hit the magical total, 69. Which man's that's the real winner today.
The real winner is that was the game my team featured in and not mid-ball at RSCA. I'm so sorry, St Kilda fans. That's the last time I'm saying that for today.
It might be the last time man says it, but I am so coining that phrase. Oh, yeah.
It's the last time I say it on this stream.
Mans, as always, it's an absolute pleasure working with you.
Thank you so much for having me, everyone.
I would say my favourite content creator to work with, actually, Mans, because it's easy. It's easy and it's fun.
We are arguably the most unhinged duo on YouTube. I'm sure there'll be a lot more to come in season 2025. Thank you for having me, as always. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching along with us as well. It's been a pleasure.
Marnie, what are you doing this week? Tell the audience.
What am I doing this week?
Yeah, content-wise, you don't.
What am I doing
don't
this
tell
week?
them
That's
your
a
weekly
great question. Well, tomorrow night I'm doing. I'm kidding. What am I doing this week? I will definitely have a review of this game up on the channel probably tomorrow. I also I'm filming a very special Shin Bonus Stories tomorrow, which I hope to have out on the channel during the week as well. Some of you might know who it is. It's a North fan who is also in the YouTube space. So that's all I'm going to give away for now. You'll have to keep your eyes peeled across Kanga TV for that one. And I'm also thinking, and now I'm going to put it out in the universe, revisiting my best 23 that I put out at the start of the year, and how my best 23 looks in comparison to the side I think we will field in round 1. That's what I'm thinking. That's what's happening.
Man, you know what's hard there is when you said a North YouTuber. There's more of you?
So this content creator, his main game is not North Melbourne content. He just so happens to be a North supporter.
And she's used the vernacular he, so we've narrowed it down.
So if you know who it is, don't say it's a surprise. That will come out during the week, though.
I still haven't got a fucking Scooby, so don't look at me. But
I'll call you after. It's fine.
Man, as always, it's a pleasure. Chat. What have we got tomorrow? We've got the Gold Coast game review. We've got this review, and there's a game that I think I haven't given you. Let me just check my schedule. Oh no, I'm right. That's it. There's this, and then there's the game that was played just before this. So we will be caught up. And then Monday night will be the AFL show, because I'm taking tomorrow night off because I've been at the computer too long, and I've already had to double dose some migraine tablets. So I need a day off from these lights. But we will be back to normal schedule next week. Make sure you like and subscribe. I love you all. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you very soon. Bye.